Your brain. Just like your brain. Like your brain. This is just not checklist niggas, and I pass no game with niggas, and I can't fake niggas. Black man, niggas, I love you on the death. Gotta get proper honesty, patience with this. I won't understand the pain you face. Systematically, we make change, name change, my control ain't shit, change power to the people. And I spit 1, 2. I need my love, but I need you too. If my heart for nothing with you, I need to know that I love you. I can honestly tell you about your loyalty. Black women is black treated lower than your loyalty. My shit changed, black life is not the story. Accept my love, but you have to protect your pain. Protect your pain. Take your way.
Sis,
Yeah.
your picture's not showing on YouTube, you know?
I don't know why though. I noticed that. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, I've just noticed, but I'm not sure why. And there's a delay. And there's a delay.
I get judged for
Maybe you can mute the YouTube one and just listen to the Hangouts one.
And only for bleeding. Only for seasons. I get charged for needing. Have this spirit be given. True heart, still walk in the dark. Raised by men, but raised by God. Raised by stars and all of hearts. Hip slips and kisses from the ancestors. If you accept me, kink and all coconut oil. 9 crocus, I can't be Becky and I don't want to be. Systematic beauty is what you've seen. Change your scene if you ain't seen a black queen. Walk with wolves and I beat waves with the back of my thighs. Natural anatomy, I naturally block arteries. And I can give you a clue as to what black queen useless, then your black skin useless. A black king, please. Protect your queen, a black queen, please. Protect your king, a black queen, please. Protect your king, a black queen, please. We will protect him. We will protect him. Protecting what is happening.
I don't know what's going on.
All right, blessings, greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to this Gotkush TV, the InSight Live. For those who may not be aware, my name is Shakara. And I just want to make sure that the family that's locked in right now can hear me loud and clear. So if you can hear me loud and clear, just type GKTV in the chat to the right-hand side of our screen right about now. Just type GKTV in the chat, family. Just let me know that you are here and you can hear me. You know what I mean? Loud and clear. We like to do quality check to this, you know, we're serving our community the best way possible. So I also make sure you can hear me. I want to see some GKTVs, yeah, in the live chat. Beautiful, beautiful. It's just the melanated goddess, you know, felt free to bless us with some red, black, and green hearts. We love that too. You know what I mean? In fact, I might make that the standard bearer right about now. We want to see some red, black, and green hearts up in the chat. Give thanks to Nams, you don't know. Give thanks to Main Fort Wait, Char CCD, Prestige D is up in the chat as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give thanks to Sharma Ben Yah, you know what I'm saying? Loving all his or her Hebrew people, his Hebrew people. We love that still. We give thanks, yeah, for your, you know, joining us. You get me, for this particular live chat. And yeah, you know, obviously the topic is kind of controversial, and we're going to get into it in a second, kings and queens. So do stay tuned. We ask you that once you're here to please like the video. The reason why we ask you to like the video is because liking the video increases the frequency of the algorithm on YouTube. And so this video, this chat will appear in more videos when people log onto YouTube for the next 2 hours between now and 10 p.m. when we conclude our discourse. So we ask you to please like the video. There's about 18 people watching right about now. There's 7 likes. So we want to get them likes up. You're not equal to the number of people that are viewing, you know what I mean? So we love that vibration there. We give thanks in advance for you doing so. And welcome to Gotkush TV. Gotkush TV is your #1 conscious media platform in the coming out of the UK, kings and queens. But we know that we've got brothers and sisters viewing from worldwide right about now, you know what I'm saying? So we welcome you wherever you're viewing from. We love that, yeah? We love that. We ask you to like the video once again, and feel free to subscribe to Gotkush TV for all our content. Our flagship show at this minute in time is The InSight. This is a complimentary show to The InSight. The InSight is basically your bi-weekly breakdown show. We delve deep into all issues pertaining to Black culture, politics, economics, health, social welfare in today's world, kings and queens. And our next edition of The InSight will be dropping this coming Monday. You know what I mean? The 18th of February, you know, so we look forward to you joining us for that also. And yeah, we've got enough big things coming for Gotkush TV. We have another one of our flagship shows being released sometime in March, which is the next season of UK Fire 32, providing a platform for all our artists with a message in their music. Do look out for the Group Economics show, kings and queens, the pilot for the Group Economics show, which will be dropping in a few months' time. And on Monday, I should say, we also released the footage for an event called The Hidden Science of Black Hair. We are the media partners for the Hidden Science Academy, who have another event which we will be previewing later on in the show. So do stay tuned because we're going to be hopefully speaking to Brother Leon Marshall, and we will be previewing the next event on the 23rd of February, which is the Hidden Science of Black Love, kings and queens. The Hidden Science of Black Love. We'll be posting the link to that event in the chat at some point in the show also, so you can get your tickets, you know what I mean, for all our family that's across the waters. You know, you can buy a plane ticket and come in for the Hidden Science of Black Love. You wanna catch the Hidden Science of Black Love, kings and queens. We're going to be revealing all the sciences, all the hidden sciences of Black love, which we definitely need more of. At this moment in time, without further ado, let me introduce to you our co-hosts, yeah, and these are not just guests, these are not just panelists, but these are, you know, your current and future presenters, yeah, on Gotkush TV. So you're going to be, you know, seeing more of them. Get used to their faces and their voices, kings and queens. You're going to be seeing more of them on Gotkush TV. Let me, you know, introduce Sister Yemaya first, because she's joined us first. Sister Yemaya, you with us?
Evening, family. Evening. Thanks for joining us this evening. I hope we can have a very enticing and informative and fruitful conversation.
Beautiful, beautiful, Sister Yemaya. Welcome, welcome. And new, making her debut, yeah, as a presenter, because she's been on Gotkush TV before, you know, in a different capacity, but making her debut as a presenter on Gotkush TV, we have the one and only Kush Data. Welcome, Kush Data. Greetings. Let people know.
Greetings. I hope everybody can hear me nice and clear.
All right, kings and queens. All right, so I want to make sure that the people can hear both our sisters loud and clear. So if you can hear Sister Yemaya and Sister Kush loud and clear, just give me either the red, black, green hearts, you know what I'm saying, or just type GKTV in the chat, kings and queens. If you can hear Sister Yemaya and Sister Kush loud and clear, I want to make sure that everybody's coming through, you know, positively and clearly on all these things. And in the meantime as well, do feel free to share the link to this conversation with a friend or family member. You don't know, you know what I'm saying. We're going to go in right about now. Give thanks for Nams, give thanks for Shad CCD. You're letting us know that the sisters can be heard. Beautiful, beautiful. So yes, share the link, kings and queens, to your friends, your family, you know what I'm saying, worldwide, yard and foreign. Kick up, you know what I mean? That's how we're going to deal with it today. All right, so let me just introduce this thing you know, nice and easy. Yeah? And we're gonna give you the reasoning why this particular title was chosen for the show. And yeah, we've obviously the title is "Why Don't Black Men Value Black Women?" Yeah, and ones may disagree with the premise of that question. And if you do disagree with the premise of the question, you'll be given an opportunity later on. About 9 p.m. we're gonna open up the lines and invite people in to come and join the chat. Yeah, join the chat and share your opinions and these kinds of things. Okay, so do stay tuned. And you know what I mean, we'll be sharing that link shortly. But yeah, we called it "Why Don't Black Men Value Black Women?" And this was partly inspired by a video that we're going to be sharing in a sec. You know what I'm saying? Featuring Nick Cannon speaking to a brother from the Nation of Islam by the name of Riza Islam. Yeah. Now, the other reason for the title, because now people have questioned the title, you know, "Why Don't Black Men Value Black Women?" is because it's a popular viewpoint out there, and we felt it was important to you know, kind of tackle that particular viewpoint, the truth of it, the lack of truth in it, and also, to be quite frank with you, kings and queens, yeah, the cynic in me, the cynic in me, and the Gotkush management was kind of suggesting, you know what, we could call it something like facilitating positive interaction between black men and women, yeah, or you know what I'm saying, how do we engage, you know, in constructive conversation as black men and women? We could call it that, you know, but really, them kind of titles, they are less likely to get the response that we're looking for in terms of people willing to engage, yeah, than a title like "Why Don't Black Men Value Black Women?" And I feel like even just the way that the promotion went around, people responded to it, I feel like that viewpoint has been validated. And so we have to question that. Why is it that we're more likely to respond to a title like "Why Don't Black Men Value Black Women?" You know, like, you know, we're more likely to respond to that title than we are to respond to a title that is more positively affirming. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do want to play the Riza Islam v Nick Cannon video in a sec, but I want to start, yeah. Now, you noticing, my brothers and sisters, yeah, that there are two sisters, yeah, on the panel and one man, you know what I mean? And I don't mind that situation, you know, kings and queens. And I'm saying it's beautiful to be surrounded by and in conversation with our sisters, you know what I'm saying? So that's good. But yeah, we want to get the sisters' viewpoint prominent, yeah, you know what I'm saying, in the show. Obviously, I'll try to bring you know, a masculine energy to the situation, and I hope my masculine energy is enough to complement what the sisters will be bringing on the show today. But obviously, we're going to open up the lines. The brothers and sisters can share their particular viewpoints. But let's just begin, however, by just asking the sisters whether that they reckon the premise of the question is kind of correct or not. Like, is it right to ask why don't black men value black women, as though it is a fact, yeah, that black men don't value black women? Is that a valid viewpoint out there, that as black men we just generally speaking don't value you as sisters?
No, I totally disagree. That was one of the first things I did say when I saw the title. You know, but questioning that, you know, was it set that way to kind of generate some talk? Because, you know, we love the mix-up, we like the passa, we like the controversy. So I think the title of it has definitely sparked, you know, some particular interest. But to answer your question, no, I don't agree with the statement. I think it's very sweeping, you know, and it is about having a balanced narrative around the subject rather than making sweeping statements like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree there as well, saying that it's a bit of a generalized statement. However, I can see why that perception is prevalent today. As a black woman who values black men and who has also been valued by black men, and because I've been valued by black men, I know when I'm not being valued. I can say that that's not a true statement, but it is something that does exist within our community with some men and some women, and that's where the relationship dynamics and the healing needs to come into it, as opposed to it being a blanket statement. Although whoever it is, powers maybe, would like to perpetuate that kind of divide and that kind of disconnect between us. I don't think it is, in my experience and in my circle of friends, something that is true. No.
Okay, all right. Now, family, you know what I'm saying? The live chat is there. We're going to be opening up the conversation for you to join us online and share your voice. At the moment, you can share your words, yeah? And if you want to get our attention, just, you know, what's it called? Hit the at Gotkush or the super chat, you know what I'm saying? Feel free to make a donation to Gotkush TV if you like what we're doing. And yeah, we'll definitely read out your comments. Yeah, you can let us know whether you think the premise of the question is a valid one or not. Right about now, though, what we're gonna do for those who have not, maybe have not seen it, we're gonna just share a piece of this Nick Cannon and Rizza Islam conversation. For, you know, just to set a kind of tone, yeah. In terms of looking at this question, we're gonna go into a few more different dynamics. So we won't be just fixing on the value question, but we're gonna be looking at our relationships as black men and women in general, intimate and otherwise, and you know, kind of facilitating some conversation about how we can improve on certain things and the perceptions that exist between us. Yeah. So let's I'm gonna share my screen right about now, and yeah, what we're gonna do is watch this video. Right, I believe you should be able to see my screen now. Okay, and we're gonna watch this Rizza Islam Nick Cannon video, and then we're gonna, you know, have a bit of a discussion about it afterwards before we go into some other things and then open up the lines. All right, so let's make sure that everybody can see the screen first and foremost. Everybody can see the screen. Yep, everybody can see the screen. Bigging up Content Over Everything joining us. Thank you, my brother. Bigging up Kemo Ben Israel. You know what I'm saying? Give thanks. Nicholas Mathis. Give thanks for joining us also. Student Life and everybody else in the chat. Share the video and subscribe to Gotkush TV. And I'm going to just remind my guests, yeah, to mute their mics whilst the video is playing. All right, so I should say my fellow co-host to meet their mic while the video is playing. Okay, all right, we're gonna go into the video now.
But again, I gotta put one of them questions out. Let's just get to it. Beating around the bush. Why I can't be with a white woman? That's what he really wanted to ask. I see we can leave now. Man, look. I don't eat pork. But goddamn the white women, as Jamie Foxx said. That's true. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, man. That's funny. See, that's really what he wanted to ask the whole time, right? Nah, but I mean, we joke and we play, but I mean, the first question when we understand that white people aren't allowed to join the nation, but even when we're talking about love, and if love is truly an unconditional thing amongst all people and humanity and the organisms that we are, why? Because the color of someone or the lack of melanin in someone's skin, I can't love that person.
Well, the easiest thing I can tell you, brother, and how we're talking nation is, of course, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan teaches us that love is from and of God. Love is superior and supreme and above color. He has absolutely said this is actual facts. He cannot speak unless it's actual fact. When it comes to love, that is speaking from a godlike perspective, original perspective, untainted, clean, spotless, without stain or blemish, without any type of destructive past and historical understanding as to why it may be in the best benefit of my people or not of my people. Reason why the white woman, brother, and we can go into the anatomy, we can go into biology, we can go into history, we can go into culture.
Right.
It's not ideal for the black man is because if you want to have the best of another black man, you have to have a black man and a black woman to have a black child.
Even though a black man and a white woman can still have a black child.
Now you're doing biology. Right, now you're doing biology because we have the dominant gene.
Yeah, we have the dominant gene. So
regardless,
a black man is gonna make something else black.
Period.
No matter what you mix them.
Period. Which is cultural department, which is genetic annihilation.
Right.
Now, see, that's another area I can go in. A lot of people are like, okay, but come on. Yeah. But it's like, well, right now,
but we can't like if we're speaking science, as we evolve, we are creating this one race. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna go back to the original.
It's gonna go back. So why fight it? Because so really, when engaging with a white woman, all you is bringing it back home. You're just bringing it back home. You're allowing to create the original man once again. Now, we all gonna be beige in a minute anyway.
Right. Now, mind you, that's down a lot. Right? That's a couple hundred years, a couple thousand years.
inevitable.
Which is true.
Right.
And they see it, according to the United States Census Bureau right now, they're saying that by the year 2042, America will be a majority brown country.
Yeah.
They are saying that white people are having more deaths than they are having births.
Yes.
So one perspective for other people would be, listen,
we gotta save the white folks.
Right.
I gotta be with all the white women so I can save you.
No, it's the opposite. I came with you because I don't want to kill you. That's supposed to be in a nation's perspective.
And that's some of their arguments as when you see some of these super conservatives and people in these certain areas
there's
these white nationalists, they just like, yo, we trying to not be extinct.
And there's truth to it. See, and so it's like, you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you, white man. I want to be with a black woman. Why? Because I was forbidden from loving you. I couldn't look at you or else
that's what made me want it even more.
Look at this, look at this.
Oh, I can't have you.
Look at this.
I'm gonna control you.
Look at this. Look at this. See, this terrible. Y'all look terrible.
But I mean, we joke, but these are the real things.
It's real.
One of the reasons why white women are looked at as success. Because in America, we see a white woman, I couldn't have you. My daddy couldn't have, my granddaddy couldn't have. I would get killed even looking at you. People, if they thought I whistled at you, they would murder me, beat me, drag me down the street. So now, if I play for the NBA, I want them all. and I can afford them all. That's what they're thinking.
And the sad thing is that has to do with the slave master mentality.
It does.
Because
but we're superseding it.
No.
I was your slave for this long. Now I'm gonna take your woman, and because your woman always wanted me. She always dreamt about.
She had you in the barn.
Yeah, but that's what I think because
she snuck it.
It was forbidden, so therefore now that it doesn't have to be forbidden, I'm gonna show that I'm the superior being, I'm the dominant original man, and I'm gonna act within that. So therefore, that's why I believe at times we're like, yo, once you get money, once you get success, I'm not following anyone else's rules. I'm a love who I want.
Interestingly, we don't want to sit here and say, well, the black woman was raped, she was murdered, she was lynched, she was dismembered, she did all these things. My child, I couldn't look at my child else to sell them to another plantation. They tarred and feathered me if my woman showed any love to me.
And to this day, the black woman is still the most mistreated person on the planet.
Exactly. And you tell me, we went through all these different things. By the way, the white woman was largely part of that.
Right.
Literally. She would help to rape men. She would help to buck break us. She would help to sell those of us into other plantations, etc. So you're telling me, the black woman who has been there for us the whole damn time,
right?
Who was there when we were getting lynched, who was there for us when we were getting whipped every day, who was there for us to heal our wounds, to give us consolation of mind, to bring us peace and quiet of mind, to help us to get through another day.
Right.
You telling me she doesn't deserve at least, and I'm not saying after the brothers, y'all like, man, I tried. Hold on, listen, you didn't try enough, goddamn. Right. Just like, hold on, brother. Come on. You don't deserve it because you have demonstrated that you can't give enough love to the number one who needs it the most because she has been destroyed the most. She has been rejected the most. She is the number one divorced, last married, most mistreated, and you telling me that because now you have money, now I'm free to go mess with the same white woman who helped to keep me in slavery, same white woman who helped to remove the needed numbers to help to get rights from her white man when we were together as a black family to fight for civilian rights.
Okay.
You telling me you got some goddamn money and you just gonna go give it not to the black woman who has been there for you, who you have invested in and she has invested in you, but give it to somebody who has no connection to your own damn race, your ethnicity whatsoever. Because when you are marrying, when you are coming together, you are coming together with the culture, with the people. But now we're talking about too many selfish black brothers, selfish, who want to come together with a white one as an individual, as though she is the epitome of greatness. She's the most beautiful. She has the best hair. She has the best everything. No, I think I take some brown sugar over some white cancer-causing sugar any day.
I can't have both.
That's up to you.
I'm selfish. You called it out,
and that's up to you. And that is up to you.
That's only.
That's why choice.
I come from a very comedic place with this, but in all seriousness, all of those statements that you make, as accurate as they are, when defining love, there should be no boundaries.
Well, what is love?
When we talking, I mean, if we want to go to the Hebrew understanding of philia or eros or agape.
Well, we can.
Or if we're talking,
I love the Hebrew study. I love this. I swear to you, I do. See, and when I say what is love, Love is an action. It is a verb, not a noun, right? It is an action of appreciating, adding value to, uplifting, evolving, growing, helping to sustain, maintain, cultivate. So love is something that you give when you want to bring something from one lower condition into a higher one. Who is in the lowest condition today? See, now we're talking about, listen, hold up, player.
Okay.
Fine. You want some snow bunnies? Go jump in the snow, bro.
Right.
But right now, I'm cool on the sand next to the beach.
Right.
All right. And my woman needs, now it's not a thing about, oh, who I love, I can't help who I love. You can't help who you love.
Right.
That's not logical. You can help you love. Just like you don't want.
Well, dealing with Eros, you may not be able to control your emotions for the attraction. And
Yeah.
urge.
You may have an attraction.
That lustfulness is the things that we can't really control.
And that's where that choice came in, where you said, I couldn't have a white woman. Now you're talking about lust. You're talking about love.
Right.
You're talking about lust. I wonder how that one feels.
Yeah.
I wonder how that one smells.
Right.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm not being bold.
Yeah,
but that's
but
what it is.
No, it's facts.
Right? It's like I wonder. It's that curiosity that you want over there. But it's like, wait a minute. This black woman is in the lowest condition.
Right.
And you say you love. How much do you love her? Do you love her enough to represent your people by lifting her up, or do you want to go and do something that takes less work and takes less discipline because it's easy?
As a man, if
a man you work,
a man in a situation who can be a provider, and not just through physical love, but truly to uplift my community, my black woman, if I can still do that and partake and participate with people who don't have as much melanin or who may be more privileged, why shouldn't I be able to do that?
Oh, you can participate. But at the end of the day, which one are you truly uplifting and contributing to?
Because we can uplift and contribute to in ways as from our daughters, our mothers, our aunts, we have to our actions than who I choose to lay down with that night. You know.
Oh, no, wait a minute, hold on, Nick. Wait a minute, Nick. They're talking about for a night, for a day, aside, chick, side bitch, or you talking about for the rest of your life?
Because for me, and having
lived
life,
you're right,
and have engaged in many different relationships, I'm at a point in my life currently where a relationship would do nothing but hinder my mission.
Okay.
And
all right, I think we're gonna end that right there for now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. For those who want to watch the whole thing, yeah, you know, because there's about 6 minutes left of this particular conversation right here. You know, but the whole point, yeah, is that Nick kind of goes on to give a very long, detailed explanation as to why he must have the white woman. Yeah, and when I watched the video, when I personally watched the video, what it brought home to me, this idea of value, and the whole idea of valuing the black woman and the kind of value that we put on our sisters, as brothers, because the brother Rizza Islam from the Nation kind of gave really what to me is an undebatable kind of explanation as to why a black woman with a set, as black men in this particular dispensation of time, at the very least, you know what I'm saying? And these things, and that was to do with the whole fact of the journey that we've been through, and everything that the black woman collectively has been through, and everything that she has done to support us as brothers, and so the idea that the forbidden fruit of the white woman and being able to have access to that now takes precedence over our loyalty, to our sisters who have been with us and walked with us, was interesting to me, you know what I'm saying? It was very, very interesting to me. And so, that this mentality, we have to really explore the extent to which it exists among us as brothers, innit? You know what I'm saying? And whether this mentality is affecting, this lack of value or appreciation for the sisters, them, in order that would inspire us, like, to dedicate ourselves, dedicate ourselves. And I mean, literally, really dedicate ourselves to our sisters, our women, in all areas and walks of life. You know, whether this was lacking because we were now able to taste, you know what I mean, the fruit, so to speak, of the white woman. And I don't know what the sisters thought of this particular. They saw it, but you know what I mean. Let me know, innit? Let me know.
Well, I think it boils down to what, thankfully, I'll start off by saying, thankfully, not every brother shares his disposition and thinks like him.
Mhm.
We have brothers that think like you. We have
Mhm.
brothers who are on the fence in between, or a bit more diplomatic about it. In that particular Nick Cannon video, he does go on to discuss something that sounded a lot like polygamy to me, which is a lot of brothers who advocate for the black woman are advocating for also. So is that also, would you say that's valuing the black woman, black family, or not? That's a debate that's gone on within our circles of conversation for ages, and that's one of the hottest topics. That topic can last for days, about polygamy, as you know. So it really comes down to what you define as value, or more precisely, what you define as valuing a black woman. So, like, you know, what is it? You outlined your version of what you say value, which is loyalty, which is dedicating yourself. But another brother, valuing a black woman might be how you treat her. For me, how I feel valued is a lot reflects not on how I'm treated by said man and how I'm made to feel in that relationship, and vice versa, you know. And you know, the definition of value is to regard something, or that, or, you know, the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness, you know, merit and worth, you know. And you know, when you see something of value, of merit, and of worth, you treat it in such a type of way, because it is of value, it's of worth. And I can say that some men would treat one woman with value and worth, and another woman not with value and worth. It depends on where they're at in their life. It depends on who the woman is, and how they perceive that woman. And she could be, those two women could be black. So it's really quite a complex, not a black and white blanket thing to look at. You know,
it's not a black and white thing. Neither is it an individual thing. So they go on later on in the video. You know, they go on to talk about like what's good for the nation, you know, rather than what's good for yourself. So yeah, individually, you have black men that can be with a black woman and still not value black women as a collective, as a whole. So it's bigger than I treat my sister good, I treat my woman good, I treat my daughter good. It's black women as a nation, as a whole. So it's a mindset bigger than who you spend your money with, or who you're romancing, or who you're sleeping with. You know what I mean? The respect now is bigger than your individual relationship with the women around you. You know, and that's when you start thinking about nation building and what's good for the greater good. So it's bigger than just attraction or individual relationships. And I think that's what the brother was. You know, if people watch the video, they will hear that. Yeah, that's where the conversation kind of goes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm agreeing, and this is the thing, because I feel like the dedication to the black woman, for me, it should like manifest itself in all areas of life, innit? So first of all, like most black women that I come across, I am not going to be intimately involved in, no matter how prolific I am, in that area of my life, like it's impossible for me to be that way involved with most of the black women that I come into contact with. And so like there needs to be like a standard, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like what Kush was saying, in terms of the appreciation of the value that we put on our sisters, if we understand where they are and what they're facing in today's world. You see what I'm saying? That kind of needs to permeate your you know, from your mother to your sister to your daughter to your friend, and I feel like one of the major impact, one of the major ways or areas, where maybe we need to improve as brothers is in the friend aspect. And why I say that is because I feel like when we're pursuing women intimately, or becoming involved with women intimately, or if that's our intention, more often than not in our relationship with women, then we're not gonna fully appreciate the value of our sisters in a more general sense. You see what I'm saying? I think there's something that comes with friendship, and being able to be a friend that not necessarily puts a greater value on the woman, but it enables us to appreciate, things on a certain level a bit more. Just what I'm saying, and I feel like it was sad, to watch the video and really see a brother given a case for, you know, kind of basically, basically looking at that woman in a certain way, and what appeared to be a brother finding any excuse that he can,
Yeah, because he wants it. You know, when you want to do something, you'll find any way to justify it. You know what I mean.
Right.
He clearly just wants, the freedom without judgment, without accountability, to be able to go in there and choose every flavor of ice cream that he wants. You know what I mean?
And
but you have to be accountable for that.
He sounds like a lot of the brothers who are pro-polygamy. That's exactly the same reasoning they have about. And I'm on the fence about polygamy, so I'm not for or against it. I see benefits in it and I see negatives in it. But the way Nick Cannon was arguing about his position or his preferences is the same way a lot of these brothers who advocate for polygamy, regardless of whether they have a good argument or not, argue for it. So the sister was saying, when you want something, you'll find any way or means to justify it.
And another thing as well, we talk about respecting Black women. I think, we have to look at it as well. There's still some privilege within that, because it's all right. It's easier to respect the Black woman that carries herself a particular way, uses a particular type of language. But are we respecting, the Black women, like, I don't know, the strippers, the baby mamas, the ones that are not so eloquent, the ones that don't carry themselves or speak as well? You know what I mean? So is there like categories of Black women that deserve different type of respect? Because I've seen elements of that as well. You know what I mean? Like, so if we're gonna dig, we need to dig. You know what I mean? Like,
all right. Well, Kings and Queens, you're locked in, locked on. You know what I'm saying. So in about 25 minutes, I'm gonna share the link and allow you to come on the conversation, share your viewpoint. You know what I mean? Like, do we need to put more respect on the sisters' name of all shapes, sizes, and walks of life? Let me ask my sisters though. Yeah, is there a disparity? Yeah, like, is there a disparity between the value that brothers put on sisters, that Black men put on Black women, in comparison to the value that Black women put on Black men? Do Black men value, in your opinion now, do Black women value Black men more than Black men value Black women?
Let me careful how I answer this.
I have to think about that one. On the surface, I feel like there's a perception, and I don't know, because I'm looking into how I feel. Like, I am so in love with Black men. I can't imagine dating another brother. Like, I cannot, another type of man, sorry. I don't have any interest in dating any, I will date a Nigerian, Ghanaian, Ivorian, Jamaican, Asian, any type of Black man. I can't imagine, like, dating anything else. But I feel like men are a lot more fluid, and it's more acceptable within themselves for them to be more fluid in regards to what they are able to date and how they feel about it. So that's my perspective on it. But that's just my experience.
I feel like Black women are more sympathetic towards a Black man than the Black man is towards a Black woman. I don't know if that denotes respect, but I think naturally as a women, we've got that mothering nurture, because we bring unakum in it. So naturally we've got that empathy, we've got that compassion, we've got that mothering skill. So I think that we're naturally more empathetic towards you than you are towards us. I will say that. Like I said, I don't know if that denotes respect, but I do definitely think that we're a lot more enduring, and I think we tolerate a lot more. We're a lot more compassionate towards the Black man than I feel the Black man is towards the Black woman.
Do you know what? I'm mindful of the fact that neither of you said yes. Yeah.
Because we don't make sweeping statements right here. You know what I mean? We don't do that.
It's very interesting. I'm gonna say this as a man, because we're talking about value here. I don't know if the Black woman values the Black man more. I really don't, and I'm not sure. Like, if, like I said, I'm gonna agree, of course. If we use words like empathy or compassion, I feel like we could probably make that argument. We could probably say that there's more compassion, or shown from the Black woman in relation to the Black man than she seems to receive from the Black man. You know what I'm saying? I think you could probably, when it comes to things like value, I don't know if I can make the generalization that, generally speaking, Black women value Black men more than Black men value Black women. I think I think my generation grew up with the perception of the black man as worthless and unable to provide for the black woman or meet the black woman's needs. Yeah,
your generation, yeah.
Yeah. So in
our generation, then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Carl.
Make that clear, yeah. You know, I feel like the perception definitely was that you know, like we started at a point, yeah, that was I think the stereotype was basically that most of us were broke and either emotionally unavailable, yeah, or unable or unwilling to give a woman what she needs. Yeah, just what I'm saying. And so very much in engaging with women, we had to prove, yeah, that we were able to do that. And proving that we were able to do that was things like, you know, yeah, what we could give her in terms of, you know, material things primarily, and a good dating experience. Yeah, the good
No, I disagree.
Okay, sis. Okay, so I think that perception still persists. More, not necessarily the broke pocket side, but more so the emotional availability and the willingness to, or the ability to invest and court the woman properly.
Yeah,
that perception I think persists to this day.
Yeah, I'll agree with that bit. Yeah,
and is the reason why the black women that I know of in this generation are dating outside their race, because black men are not able to provide to meet those needs.
Right. Well, yeah, because I'm gonna say that like I think there's probably, like, when it comes to the compassion thing, I think there's something in it, but partly because compassion is not something that we associate with manhood.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's a thing where I don't know if it's particular to the sisters them. Like, we have problems showing compassion between us as brothers. You know, in certain kind of ways. I think we can show understanding. Like, so you know, brothers, if you and a brother have a shared experience, we can say, yeah, I understand his experience. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't necessarily, you know, lead into the levels of compassion, because compassion denotes some kind of emotional kind of vibration. It's an interesting vibes. Kings and Queens, I want to know what you think. You know what I'm saying? Is there a disparity between our value for each other as black men and black women? We're going to open up the lines in about 20 minutes here, and I do want to move on though the conversation.
Before you do, Shakira, I just want to ask you something. Go back to something that you mentioned about our generation's experience in terms of like what a woman, a black woman, will see as being valued as opposed to a black man being considered a what list or emotionally unavailable. And you mentioned like gifts and dating experience. So are you then saying that that's an incorrect measure of being valued as a woman? And if that is incorrect, what are the ways that a brother will be showing that woman that he values her if he's not doing those things then?
Good question. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's incorrect, but I'd say it's one-dimensional. And so if we're not adding other dimensions, then it becomes unproductive or disruptive. Is what I'm saying. So obviously we know what we grew up on. We grew up on bills. We grew up on independent women. We grew up on, you know what I'm saying?
I think one of the issues is as well, like, because we have this word respect. I always say, like, it's like a spectrum in it. So there's a spectrum of the term respect. So what I might deem as respectful and my levels and my standards of what I find acceptable might be different from sister Yemaya. You understand what I mean? So because there's not like a base, there's not like a checklist, like he must do this, he must do that. Sisters don't have that. So what a brother may be able to get away with me, what I might find acceptable, right? He might not get that at another house, and then he might go to another house and there's different rules and regulations. So I think because us as sisters now don't have like this collective, code where, what I'm saying, if he ain't corner a couple times a week, then nah. If he ain't, you know what I mean? It's not meeting certain requirements.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. When you mentioned that calling certain times a week, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Sometimes it would seem that you do have a cold, boy. I'm not gonna lie. So.
It would depend on that woman's love language as well, because
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Because this is the thing. What makes this even more complicated is because I'd say like our generation was like the first kind of intense multimedia generation. Yeah. And so like the extent to which the ideas that we were getting from mass media, the extent to which they were replicated in our everyday interactions with each other, is probably worth questioning. Just what I'm saying. So we might have been getting all these ideas from the television and the radio, but then were the sisters actually taking on these ideas completely in terms of how they related? That's probably another question. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like we're getting into some of that with this next video that we had. Now we're not going to show this next video because it's 21 minutes long, but we're gonna get Sister Yemaya to give a summary of this video entitled "Why You Will Marry the Wrong Person." I believe it's named.
Yeah, it's basically a guy giving a talk on psychological perspectives, looking at attachment theory, looking at self-reflection, and looking at how we love each other and the expectations that we have and how we communicate these needs and expectations. I don't know if it might be worth you posting the link to the video. It's quite a long and it covers quite in-depth topics. It looks at how we address each other in terms of the different attachments and how we love, how we were loved as children, and we seek that same love from others. And sometimes we're not very good at communicating our needs, and we're also not very good at looking at our own flaws, and adjusting our own behaviours to be conducive in a healthy and productive relationship. So that was mainly the gist of the video, and saying that you might be the wrong person, they might be the wrong person, because there's a disconnect in terms of your own self-reflection, but also that person's love language and attachment style might not match your attachment style. And when you do meet somebody where there is that mismatch, how then do you have the skills then to therefore address that and communicate that and adapt to that person's style? So that was it, really.
Some serious intention there, boy. Some serious intent.
Obviously, you watched the video, Kush.
Yeah.
So
I've got a bit of it, yeah.
What did you get from it?
Yeah, well, pretty much the same as the sister said, really. You know, just looking at like everybody has their love language. You know what I mean? So for some men it might be money. You know, for some men it might be you know, I remember watching a clip as well. I don't know if it was within this clip where there was a woman saying that her man never spends time with her, and all she wants to do with is all she wanted to do was have her man spend time with her watching TV. You know what I mean? So he came, so they went off. He claims that they went off, they sat on the couch and they watched TV, and she still wasn't happy. And what it boiled down to, what she really wanted to communicate was she wanted to cuddle with him while watching the TV. So it wasn't really about the TV. It was about being on the couch, spending time together, but she didn't actually communicate that. And I think part of the issue is, like the sis was saying, not wanting to appear vulnerable, not wanting to appear needy. Like nobody likes their vulnerabilities. Well. Yeah, nobody likes their vulnerabilities exploited. You know what I mean? So rather than looking stupid or, you know, those kind of things, we should shy away from saying certain things. You know what I mean? So I definitely think
one of the
it's
things
about
that was addressed in the video also, that we're not able to be vulnerable with the other person, and because we're not able to be vulnerable, we then causes a miscommunication. That miscommunication then leads to disconnect, and then, you know, it kind of escalates into that kind of problem there.
Yeah, because there might be a time where I might be speaking to a brother, and, you know, I'm really excited, and I'm thinking, should I call him? No, because if I call him now and he don't answer, then I'm going to feel silly. And then you start thinking all these crazy things, you know. You end up talking yourself out of it because you don't want to look silly, you don't want to look desperate, you don't want to look guilty, you don't want to look all these things. And it stops you from being your true self. And everybody's, you know, trying to, you know, have these defense mechanisms and all this other stuff going on. And all we're doing is creating blockage.
And little do you know that brother is there with the phone in his hand too.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, no comment on that last point still. But yeah.
now I'm interested.
Talk up, man.
All right. What I will say, yeah. The thing that stood out to me from that video, yeah, because it was Yemaya that introduced me to that video right there. And basically, like, all the things that he was talking, because the title of the video really has nothing to do with what the video is actually about.
Yeah. Again, you know what I mean? I think that was a bit strategic as well.
Right? Yeah, definitely. But I feel like, but in essence, what I got from it is that we kind of, because we have these dysfunctional behavior patterns, we kind of make ourselves wrong for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, because and the fundamental thing for me is something that I kind of learned very young here, which was this idea of love as a verb. Shout out to Davis, love is just a verb, yeah. But yeah, that's this idea that love is a doing thing. It's not a feeling. It's not an emotion.
Yeah.
Like you say, like it's because people justify all kinds of foolishness and destructiveness and abuse in the name of love. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying no. Like love is like, you know, when you're behaving a certain kind of particular way to somebody is when they know that you love them, so to speak. And I feel like, but the idea though that how to love somebody or loving somebody is something that we learn. It's a learned thing. Yeah, it's not something that slaps us upside the head and we're bowled over and we can't. Right? It's something that we learn, and so there are behavior patterns that are able to facilitate, the love, and there are behavior patterns that kind of, basically are destructive to being able to facilitate love. And he spoke about this, and he spoke about the idea of compromise. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we're kind of taught like not to compromise, but the key word like in relationship is relation. Yeah, you have to relate to somebody, and relationship always require those compromises. You see what I'm saying? And then he goes, and the other part that stuck to me was the part where he talked about this idea. He started talking about children, and this psychologist who kind of developed this thing in terms of children, whereby they see the parent as one thing, for a period of time, but then as they grow, they learn that they can be immensely happy and pleased with the parent, but immensely annoyed with the parent at the same time. And whoever the psychologist was considers to be a serious revelation. And so the people that are closest to us, the point that he's making is that have the capacity to please us and to disappoint us. And
at the same time,
and the fact that they disappoint us is not a sign of the fact that they're wicked, bad, terrible, evil, and you know what I'm saying. So it's a part of the love experience and the kind of things there. And I feel like that's a major thing in the sense of the fact that we have to use the word romanticized ideas here about what relationships are supposed to be. And so when our expectations do not match up with reality, we cast and from a male perspective, I feel like a lot of men do this because men have a tendency to, I think coming back to what Kush was saying earlier, men have a tendency to kind of section off women in different categories, innit? So you got the wifey over here, and the whatever else over here, the saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but right, the housewife that we're looking for, is in some ways just as flawed as the other women that we're comparing her to. And so when the housewife messes up, right, then we get these ain't, you know what I'm saying, and them kind of things there, just what I'm saying. And it's like, nah, we have to appreciate that people are human beings, innit, right? And so no matter what standards or pedestals or whatever we apply to people, that they mess up, and when they mess up, we have to be understanding about the fact that we have our flaws too, and we're gonna mess up too. And so being in a relationship is being able to manage people's mess ups sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that we give excuses or we allow their mess ups to turn into abuse of violation. I'm saying that it's not about that, but we put things into perspective, innit? That's what I'm saying. So,
I think we use the word compromise. I think people say that they're compromising in relationships. I think, or in when I say relationship, I'm not just talking about intimate relationship. I'm talking about friendship. Yeah. So I think people say they're compromising, and I think people are sacrificing. And I'm a big believer in if something's not worth a compromise, something that's not worth compromising, don't compromise. It shouldn't feel like a sacrifice. And I think because of the state of the nation, the state of, you know, the amount of men they are, and maybe due to your age or whatever the case is, I think you start to sacrifice more and more rather than compromising, you know, in fear of not being able to be in that relationship, or not being able to be in a particular social group, or not be able to, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm speaking from a woman's perspective now, that I think especially as you get older as well, you start to compromise maybe slightly more, or sacrifice slightly more, you know, to achieve the things that you want, you know. And I think that's where a lot of the then resent comes in, because you wasn't really compromising, you were sacrificing. And those are, I think you can't underestimate the power or the subtle differences between those two things, you know what I mean?
All right. You know what? At this stage, I'm going to take this opportunity to let the viewers know about the hidden science of Black love, kings and queens. Hopefully, we're going to have Brother Leon Marshall from the Hidden Science Academy coming on to let us know about this event. Taking place on the 23rd of February. Gotkush TV are the official media partners for this event, and it will feature the power couples Nat Nye and Stella B, also Leah Salmon, Davis J. Williams, of the Manhood Academy, and also the Naked Truth. Andrew Muhammad will be in the house, as well as the scientist himself, Brother Leon Marshall. I do believe Leah Salmon is going to be accompanied by her king, Jeremy Salmon, as well. You know what I mean? So don't get it twisted, family. There are power couples out there, and I'm just sharing the link to the hidden science of Black love in the chat right about now. I encourage all ones and ones, if you are about, can be in London on the 23rd of February, to come down, check out the hidden science of Black love. We're going to be going in. Brother Leo Marshall always puts on fantastic events, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know if before we open up the lines here, just to do you know what, I don't think this thing's actually on YouTube. I might show it, but obviously tomorrow is for them Valentines Day, you know what I'm saying? Right, let's get out of the way before we open up the lines. Let's see, because another one of the videos that we were considering for this thing in terms of inspiration was this video whereby this brother and his sister, you know, they're in the kitchen, she's cooking, and basically she's looking for him to go all out, on Valentine's Day. And he's saying, fam, like, we've been married for like 5 years and that. Like, what am I got to go all out for? We've done all this before and whatever. And she's like, fam, man had one baby last year, and the baby the year before that, you know what I'm saying? And now, you know, we want to spend some.
Before that, she was pregnant.
Say again?
And the year before that, she was pregnant. She was pregnant.
So I don't know, me's a man, like, I'm so strong on this. Like, I don't deal with Valentine's Day, not necessarily because of anything particular against Valentine's Day. Just generally speaking, like, Eurocentric holidays, I just don't celebrate them, innit? So it's not a part of my calendar. I'm not going out to buy no roses and them kind of things there. Having said that, you know what I'm saying, when Taurus Riley and Etana and Queen Africa comes over for a concert, I'm gonna go to the concert. You know? Like, you know what I'm saying? That can go on. That will go on. You know what I mean? But yeah, outside of that, I'm not
a man who knows how to, who is very attuned to his partner, and knows her love language, and knows how to make her feel special, and doesn't need a day to remind him.
Exactly.
And that's all well and good, but we have to remember that we are human beings.
Yeah.
And we get complacent. And sometimes, you know, a day like Valentine's Day, like a day like Mother's Day, is a day where, you know, sometimes you're prompted to remind that person how much you mean to them, how much they mean to you, sorry. So in terms of the Eurocentric holiday thing, I get that. In terms of the purpose it fulfills in relationships, like for the couple, especially if you've been together for a long time, you're going to need that little juju spice added every now and then. Especially when you get complacent. We're human.
Did you say juju?
No, juju. Juju.
Some goose panic, you know what I mean?
Each other, you know?
Island powder, you know.
Yeah. Man gets it still. Man gets it. Wait, what are you saying, Kush?
Yeah, I was basically saying, basically the same. Well, it's a combination of both. What both you were going to say. If you're somebody that subscribes to these holidays anyway, then yeah, Valentine's is definitely on your list. You know what I mean? Whether you subscribe to it or not, I don't see any sister that's going to turn down any attention, any, you know what I mean, gifts or anything like that. But it shouldn't be the be all and end all, because on this day, you know, you never serenade me with the wine and the chocolates and whatever the case is. You know, them things should be happening, you know, June 10th, September 4th, December 12th, just some random days, you know what I mean?
Anniversaries.
What's the significance of those dates, Kush? I don't think those dates are random, you know. You got some memories.
No, literally. No, honestly. I was just like throwing it out there, like any day of the year, innit? I want chocolate and roses and them things. If that's your love language. Well, like I said, yeah, if somebody decides tomorrow to turn up and give me some roses, I ain't gonna be like fireborn, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, it's not the be all and end all. It's not a testament to how, you know, to it's not the sum total symbol of the levels of our relationship.
All right, yeah. I disappointed our sisters over the years, you know. I say that, you know. But really, because I'll be fair, most of the women that I've been involved with, like, don't do Valentine's Day themselves, innit? You know what I'm saying? But then, like, I'm the kind of guy, like when it comes to your birthday, I'm gonna go beyond the Call of Duty, and them kind of things. The little things like that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it kind of makes up for the thing. You know what I mean? You know, like my ex hollered at me the other day, cause she remembers one birthday that we didn't have. You know what I mean? So yeah, you get me? It's nice.
That in there, yeah.
Well, you know,
romantic
hashtag whatever.
Hashtag romantic.
When I do the romantics, and we do the afromantics, you know what I mean? You get me? No, but and this is the thing, yeah, because you say that, yeah. Now I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna open up the lines here. But I feel like, because sometimes as a man, yeah, as a black man, yeah, that's trying to be responsible, like you can carry the burden of the state of black men. That's what I'm saying. Or because there is as much as we want to, you know, defy whatever possibilities, there is a viewpoint or a general characterization of black men and how we relate to black women. Yeah. That, you know what I mean? Like, depending on your consciousness, like, you can spend a lot of time trying to fight, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? And so part of the value, yeah, that, you know, you kind of place on a sister is not the fact that you won't necessarily mess up, yeah. But one, it's about being honest about your mess ups, and two, it's about trying to make amends, yeah, for your mess ups, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and I mean actively doing that. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's like it's not even that man can't claim to be perfect, innit? Like, man's had relationships, man has messed up, man has been wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And man has done things that, you know what, like, when I did it, I was in a particular state of mind, but when I look back on the thing, like, I should have known better, and I did know better, and I didn't use my better mind and my better judgment in this moment in time. You see what I'm saying? And there's something to be said for just, you know what I mean, accepting that, and also kind of being honest with the next sister that you come across in terms of that vibes as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not into the selling jeans business. I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I know how I present, but it's also about being honest. And I feel like there's a value that you demonstrate through your willingness to be better.
Yeah.
Just that I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? That just your willingness to be better, or try to do better, and then actually do better. And if a woman can see doing that, or you're able to demonstrate, and not everyone's gonna see it, fam. Like, that's the reality. Like, when we're trying to do our thing, we're trying to be better, we're trying to improve and whatever. Like, not everybody is going to see, acknowledge, accept, and harmonize with that process. But the sincerity of it as a man is just being able to do that and trust that the right people will understand that, and the value will be transmitted, you know what I'm saying, through those actions. There has to be sincerity in the thing, you know what I'm saying?
Sincerity there, and the fact you talk about trying to change, but actually doing it. There's change, not just talking about it, but actually doing it.
Actually doing it, yeah. So it's like, yeah. So whereas the woman that you know, let me about the birthday thing, like, I made my mistakes with this woman, innit? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You know, and so some of the some of the being better actually or improving actually happen outside of the context of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You know, and them kind of things there, which, you know, but man took the time to actually even do that, or we should I say, because I wasn't just me, like, I wasn't the owner, I was wrong. But, you know, to you know, do certain things outside of that context, innit? You know what I'm saying? And we're good friends, innit? Nah, innit? You know what I'm saying? Because of that. So we give thanks, innit? So we can remember things like birthdays and these things. Oh, that makes sense. So, yeah, so I'm not trying to big up myself, but it's just, it's balanced, innit? So, yeah. It's balanced, it's balanced. All right, Kings and Queens, we're going to open up the lines right about now. I'm going to share the link, yeah, for anybody who wants to join the chat. You'll be able to join the chat. There are a couple rules, however. There are a couple rules. When you come into the chat, please mute your mic, yeah? We would like you to mute your mic because this is Gotkush TV, and we want to maintain quality control, all right? So we don't want to just have random noise in the background. We know that some of the topics that we're covering or talking about can be sensitive, so we are asking you to be respectful. Yeah, and not unintentionally inflammatory. We're trying to facilitate a conversation where, as much as the title sounds, you know, like a black man versus black woman thing, that is not the energy, and I hope you can pick up the energy. That is not the energy that we're coming with. I certainly have not come with that energy, and the sisters have not come with that energy today, although I did give them permission to go in on man, yeah, completely. I did give them permission to do so, you know, because I just believe that, you know,
Permission, you know.
Yeah. Well, I should use the word permission. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, you said you didn't mind the sisters, you know what I mean? You said we must bring it in us, so yeah.
I believe as man, yeah. I believe as man in this day and age, sometimes we just have to take some licks, and sometimes those licks are going to be all the way. But it's just what it is at the moment. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is at the moment. So yeah. But we ask you to be respectful, kings and queens. So I'm gonna share the link, and as long as you follow those two rules, we're gonna get into some bits, and I mean, share your opinion and them kind of things there. Do the sisters want to say anything before, while the guests are coming in?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for the interaction so far. Looking on the website and on YouTube, you can see there's a lot of conversation going on. I'm glad that people weren't put off by the title, and I hope for the men listening, you know, you can hear that, you know, you're listening and speaking to, interacting with two balanced sisters here. So hopefully it shouldn't be coming across as no male bashing session or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Anybody that's actively listening can see that is not the angle at all. You know, it's very balanced and open. You know, and yeah, I'm loving it.
And just to say this, if we have any future husbands locked on, feel free to send your applications to Gotkush TV. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the brothers at Gotkush TV have to make sure that we vet the thing proper. You know what I'm saying? In protection of our sisters. You know what I mean? So Gotkush TV at gmail.com. You know what I'm saying?
Now you serious, you know?
We'll go for the screening process, you know what I'm saying? And
push that data at yahoo.co.uk.
No, push it. You can't put your thing out first. The relevant applications, you know what I'm saying? You know, the ones that stand up to the test and them thing there, you get me? We'll send it to Kush Data and you know what I mean? You get me? So yeah, the link is most definitely in the chat. If you would like to join the chat, come through with your mic muted, and we'll get to you when I call your name. Feel free to unmute your mic, and we'll inveigle you in the conversation that we are having. We are asking the question: why don't black men value black women? Yeah, and we have, you know, kind of thrown that out to us, because we're saying that it's not that black men just don't value black women. There are issues there. Yeah, there are issues there. And that we need to work out, but we shouldn't make generalized statements, yeah? Now, but having said that, I'm going to ask my sisters on the panel while the callers are coming through, yeah? A way, now, and we're going to take this beyond just intimate relationships, yeah, but just in our, you know, the relationships generally as black men and black women. What are some of the key ways, yeah, from a sister's perspective, that you think that brothers need to demonstrate more of a value, yeah, for black women?
I think honesty, but like I'm not talking about superficial honesty. I talk about raw honesty, yeah, and being willing to share certain vulnerabilities, definitely being accountable. Yeah. And being committed. And like I said, we're not talking about just intimate relationships. We're talking about like, you know, friendships and all kind of things as well. Be committed and show intent. You know, I always say to people, never underestimate the power of someone's intention. So even if, you know, you something goes wrong or something doesn't manifest, you know, to know that you had the intention to do something, you know, people can feel that. People can feel those things. So I think if we're willing to be rawer with how we're feeling, rawer in our approach, and more accountable, yeah, in and more willing to express our vulnerabilities, then we can start to look at you as human again. You know what I mean? We can start to feel. You understand? Nah, for real. Like there's some hurt women out there. There's some hurt sisters out there. You know what I mean? So I do feel like some of those things will help ease some of the tensions that are out there.
You ready for that day, yeah?
I would say, for me, if your intentions are not for my greater good and our greater good, then leave me alone.
Run away.
And I would say, leave your ego at the door when you come into my life. That's it. Because at the end of the day, any relationship will be intimate or platonic. Any of my friendships, there's a criteria to become my friend and to remain my friend. You have the relationship has to be a certain way, and that's whether you're going to be my potential partner or my friend. Our relationship has to be a certain way. There has to be honesty, trust, integrity, respect, you know, consistency, you know, all of those things, and genuine intention, and you know, shared some synergy there. But and those things will make me feel valued, and whatever my love language is, if you know what it is, then you know, and if it compliments me, then that's how I will feel valued. But ultimately, it's you make sure your intentions are good and whole and pure, and that you know yourself. So you know that even if you're because you get brothers who have good intentions, you know, but they can't live up to their intentions because they need to do some self-healing or some self-work or put down some of the baggage. So it's about, you know, knowing yourself and your capacity before you come, and knowing what knowing your intentions before you come, and being in control of your ego as well when it comes to it, because there are brothers out there who have an issue with. I've met brothers. I think, do you even like women? Because they have a perception of women, and they have an attitude that's a bit like, do you even like women? Like, you should just date guys because you just don't seem to like.
No, you should date nobody.
Feminine, like the feminine nature of a woman, or you know. So those are little things like that. Really, I'll just leave it there.
All right. Okay. Now, I'm gonna say, not too surprisingly, yeah, based upon previous conversation, but we our first, you know what I mean, contributor from our audience is Sister Melanated Goddess from across the Atlantic Ocean. Greetings, Sister Melanated Goddess.
Greetings, Brother Shakara. Greetings, sisters.
Greetings.
Sister Melanated, which part of the world you in again?
North America, East Coast.
The East Coast, yeah. So we've got a corner from the East Coast, and I'm saying locked on right about now, Kings and Queens, and we do give thanks. You know, we do give thanks. What's your contribution, Sister Melanated?
Well, I'm glad that you all discussed the initial topic about that black men actually don't hate black women, because I don't necessarily get that feeling. I feel like whatever animosity, you know, I do sense from black men, I feel like black men are hurt too. And sometimes they kind of take that stuff out on the whole, you know, and they just, oh, y'all women this and y'all women that. And I'm like, hold on, bro. I don't got you on child support. It ain't me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I didn't talk to your homeboy. I didn't you know, sleep with your cousin. You know, I'm not even like
This is
that.
it. This is it. That's the baggage I was talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they tend to, you know, and they just hurt. You know, it's a lot of jealous men out there, and sometimes they, you know, they've been done dirty by women in the past, and they gonna make sure it don't happen again, and then sometimes they have mommy issues. There's a lot of reasons where this stuff comes from, but I wouldn't say that's the majority of black men, you know, at all. I don't have those type of men in my circle, you know. So
Yeah.
I have really good men who are fathers and husbands and big brothers and you know, surrogate brothers and all kinds of stuff, you know. So I
And I think that's so important as well, because with those examples, you can see the difference. Whereas there are some people who do not even know a healthy individual from an unhealthy individual, and it's just dysfunctional all around. So I think those examples are key. And as I said, and when I first joined the conversation, because I've been valued and because I've been loved, I know when I'm not being valued. I can see when I'm not being valued, and I can feel when I'm not being loved. So it's easier for me to set a standard for me, and it kind of sets the precedent of the people I have in my life.
Exactly.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna say because I feel like a lot of the things that happen between us, the issue is not necessarily the issue is not necessarily the fact that problems arise. You know, it's the fact of how we address the problems. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not. It's the problem solving that is the issue more than basically the problems that in and of itself. I have a theory that it's very unscientific. I have not been able to test this in any way. I'm not even sure if you be able to test it here, but that most relationships end for issues that are completely resolvable.
Yeah, until sorry is all it takes, you know.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But after the sorry, like there's an acceptance of the sorry, and then there's, you know what I'm saying? You know, then there's the work to kind of undo whatever the behavior was that made the story, you know what I mean, necessary in the first place. And then there's the acknowledgement of the fact that the person, you know what I'm saying, actually doing that work. You know what I'm saying? So there's all kind of different things, and I feel like because that sometimes we create more trauma and tension in trying to address the issue than the issue actually created in the first place. And I feel like at the moment we're doing that across the board. Like this whole social media reality at the moment is mad, in terms of how we are relating to each other in the public eye as black men and women. The things that are being said, and this is one of the reasons why the question, which is the title of the show, was necessary, because I feel like there are a lot of depictions here, and I don't feel like this is an accident, but there are a lot of depictions out there of black men not valuing black women. Not to say that this is representative of who we are as black men, but we can definitely see a lot of conversations, a lot of images, a lot of media and things that are said. You know what I'm saying? There was some years ago, there was a whole black kind of men's rights movement, and basically it kind of just made itself popular off of chatting rubbish, about black women. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say that none of the issues that they were raising were valid, but their conclusions were often very flawed, and the spirit of the thing was just wrong. You know what I'm saying? To the point of the spirit in which they're raising the issue made any kind of ability to address the thing just impossible. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't raised in that spirit. It was raised in,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that when I look at certain things that are like, posted on Facebook, like you said, the spirit in which it's communicated, it's like y'all black women don't want to hear what's wrong with y'all, but I'm gonna tell you what's wrong, and y'all are just wrong with this, and y'all wrong with that, and you need to do this, and then you hear the favorite, and y'all wonder why we want white women. And I'm like, oh God, did you really go there?
Yeah,
You know?
that's the solution, isn't it?
Yeah, because you know she doesn't like money. She doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like, it's you know, she won't ask you. You want a woman not to push you to be better. That's what you want. Like, you're mad at me for asking you to, you know, be a better man. It's crazy, like the way in which they communicate it. You know, like, you know, oh, black woman, she leads in all races and abortions, as if she's just inseminating herself. Like, you know, just no accountability. So now the women, they're over there defending themselves, which comes across as they're defending abortion and all blah blah, and it don't look good. It just really doesn't look good. Instead of saying, let's have a healthy conversation on how we deal with family planning in our community. That's coming from a more gentle place. That's coming from a place where, you know, what's going on, my sisters, where, you know, this is going on with your bodies. You're entering into these type of relationships. You know, black men, we need to create environments where a woman is happy about becoming a mother. You know, like, that sounds so different than she's this bad person over here aborting all of her babies.
Mm.
And,
yeah, I'm gonna totally agree with you.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
Kind of stuff on Facebook. And I don't know the state in the UK, but in the US there is a lot of tension, and the rhetoric is that black women choose public assistance over having a man.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's a global discourse. Don't worry about that.
Oh, they say that over there too?
Yes, yep.
Oh, God. And I'm like, if
sorry,
they knew how much money
there's some cracking up of the mics over here.
Huh?
Yeah. Is it just me? There's some.
Oh, am I breaking up?
No, I can hear you fine, sister.
I can hear you fine too.
If they only knew how much money you actually get on public assistance, women would much rather have a man in the house, have some help with them kids, have some help with these bills, and she gets some warm thighs in the bed with her.
Okay. Exactly. There's a lot more that a man can provide for a household than money. And I think a lot of, you know, most women understand that, like, money is not the greatest thing that a man can contribute.
I don't know, you know. I don't
really
know.
Well, give thanks.
Let me.
I would say if a man cannot contribute, it's a problem, and that's for me anyway.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, but I said ain't nothing going on but the rent, my G.
Be real, like I've got plans for my future. There's a way I want to live my life, and there's a way I want to raise my kids, and the bills are real. The bills are real.
No, the bills are real. Obviously, I'm not saying that money is not important. Money is definitely, you know, an important factor if you want to live a certain quality of life. But what I'm saying is, money is not the most valuable thing that a man can bring to a relationship.
I agree.
You understand what I mean? Yeah. I just want to hone in on that particular. I don't say I don't like money, you know. Of course, you know, I like shoes. You know what I mean? I like flights. You understand those things there. But what I'm saying is, money is not the most valuable thing that a man can bring to a relationship. There's much more positive things.
Let me ask you a question, sister. Let me ask you a question, yeah? Because Kush mentioned something earlier, and I think maybe Emma, y'all mentioned it too, in terms of like a man that's in tune with his emotions and able and willing to express them, you know what I'm saying, them kind of things there, yeah? Do you reckon, yeah, that most sisters at the moment, in your observation and your experience, yeah, are equipped, yeah, and capable to deal with an emotionally in tune man?
Oh yeah.
I think it may be a bit of a novelty, you know what I mean? I won't deny that, you know what I mean? But I think, yeah, of course we are. Like I said, it depends on the sister's mindset.
I don't know, you know. I don't know if sisters can handle, you know what, babes, you hurt me, you know. Yeah, and this is how you hurt me.
I
disagree. I I disagree with you, Shakara. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just fortunate to be around some, you know, forward-thinking sisters and emotionally mature sisters. But I think from my experience,
if a man is upset with me or I've done something to a guy, he can't come to me and say, "You've hurt me. This is what the problem is." If you're gonna start treating me a different way or sulking or not come home, all them things, the relationship can't work. Can't.
Exactly.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying. Straight
away. Don't leave it a day, you know. Because if I up you at 9 o'clock here, and by 9:30 you can't deal with me properly, and it's not dealing with me properly for the next few days, the relationship's gonna die. Sorry.
But you know what? I'm
gonna also ask a follow-up question for clarity, Brother Shakara. When you say he's emotionally in tune, are you saying because he's able to express that you hurt me, is he able to process his own hurt? Because sometimes when I'm hurt, right, I have to realize and I have to process, am I hurt because I'm insecure? Am I hurt because I'm being spoiled? Am I hurt because
it's the truth? Yeah,
because it's the truth. Or am I hurt because what he said was actually hurtful? So I gotta process that first.
That's key.
Very true.
You see what I'm saying? So because I'm gonna tell you, I'm kind of a hard woman. You know, like I can't take no man crying. Everything hurt him. You? No, every minute something hurt you. Like no, I need you to I need you to not be hurt by everything, because then when it's something major,
I hear you totally. And being a black man in this day and age is almost defined by the ability to take hurt and just move past it. You know what I'm saying? It's like not even
don't say that. Don't say that.
When I say that, I don't necessarily mean in relation to women. You know, I'm just saying that. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, yeah. Like, where I don't think as men we're taught to kind of process and work through, you know what I'm saying, certain things. You know what I'm saying?
So, and where do you think we've got these extra teachings from as women?
There's a lot of answers to that. You know what I'm saying? I think there's there might be more of a culture of it among the sisters. Them, I think maybe just the challenges that brothers have to face versus the challenges that sisters have to face to cultivate different behavior patterns.
Well, it's more socially acceptable for us to be women.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
To be emotional, but for a man, it's not as socially acceptable. And I feel like boys are raised.
Yeah, but being emotional, there's a difference between being emotional and expressing yourself. Yeah, so yeah, it might be more socially acceptable for a woman to cry, for example. That's more socially acceptable. But I think for a man to be able to say, you know what, I feel like you dissed me the other day, you know, or I feel like, you know, you're taking my for idiot, or I feel like, you know, you should have spoke to me like that in public.
That's what I'm saying. If you know what I mean, in a culture where expressing yourself, your thoughts and feelings, whether it's positive or negative, as a boy is seen as feminine, and for a man you're supposed to not to talk about your problems, you're not going to learn those skills to communicate. Oh, you know what? I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Like we do as girls, you know, when we do that, especially when we're going through secondary school, and you know, you have to learn the unwritten rules of how to navigate the women friendships. Men don't have that same kind of.
I kind of feel like women sit on their feelings a lot more. I think there's a lot more feelings that women are masking and holding down and trying to front. You know what I mean? I think we actually we just a lot more of our feelings.
What we do, we should put on a strong front, but we do have event. We are able to go sit down and call our sister or call our friends and chat about it. Brothers don't do that.
Let me ask a question then. If the man them don't learn how to process themselves emotionally, where are the sisters learning to deal with the man them who can do that?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
So if brothers, yeah, generally are not kind of, you know, taught, yeah, like that we have emotions and that we have to address them and deal with them and, you know what I'm saying, work through them and them kind of things there. Where are the sisters learning how to deal with men who are doing that?
Who are not able to deal with their emotions.
I guess we learn as we go along, as you know, as we meet these rare species, we embrace them the best way we can where we meet them in it.
So much, relationship breakdown in our community because
All right.
that might be an issue, as well as the thing that we discussed earlier about the video, why you married the wrong person. There's the lack of those skills and the lack of that self-awareness, the lack of understanding of what it means to be, a good person and a bad person at the same time, and all those things, like having that awareness and understanding of the dynamics and the intricacies of a relationship and of being what it means to be human,
Mm-hmm.
So, but conversations like this and bringing it to the awareness is a step for healing, because now that you can love somebody but they can still hurt you, but you can still be with that person. It's okay because it's normal. Having that awareness makes a huge difference to the success or breakdown of a relationship, I believe.
All right. Well, Nams is saying that she says, I don't think they are. She's expressing a different viewpoint. Not the majority, especially if it's deep-seated issues, but there are women that can. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's that. Courtney Sharp says we need to start understanding each other again, as the Babylonian system has divided us in the past, which has caused us to often misunderstand each other. We need to reconnect in order to move forward. He also says, yeah, it's true, relationships do end in problems that can be resolved, but that comes down to many things. First, it's about accepting each other for who we are. That's what I'm supposed to be. Who we are right now in this day and age. Right, we're joined by another contributor. Is that Sharla?
Hi.
Hi,
greetings. You're coming through loud and clear right there. Greetings.
This is like my first time on Hangout, so I'm just playing about. I didn't even know you were going to come to me next.
I mean, all right. Well, you know what I mean. It's when you come through, sis, we're going to come to you. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, cool.
You get me? Yeah. What's your contribution, sis?
I guess my contribution is like I'm really enjoying the conversation, and I'm really enjoying like the respect that both sides are giving to each other.
Natural,
It's a really interesting perspective, because I've kind of been walking around with this phrase in my head that black man don't like black gal, and it's kind of obviously something I've picked up from like blogs and vlogs and watching from YouTube and stuff like that, and just listening to the conversation. It's actually really like it can now become a self-fulfilling thing. If I'm like walking around with this in my head, how do I then expect to attract someone or like a certain kind of guy that I like? Do you know what I mean? So I guess like not much of a contribution, but that's just what's going through my head.
No, that's a powerful contribution. That's a very open and honest contribution. So don't ever think that.
Yeah.
You
got more to add, sis?
Well, what are you guys' response to that? Like, because I was hearing the other caller, and she was kind of saying, about like how the media outlet is obviously controlled by a certain entity, and sometimes you get carried away with their perspective of things. So like just in terms of like listening, I'm kind of like, oh, like actually, is what I'm actually seeing in real life the same? Does it match what I'm actually seeing on advertisements or what's being like presented? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you have to understand like that we're not portrayed very well. We get bombarded with negative images, and we get bombarded with negative images about ourselves all the time, and some of us do internalize those things. So it's important to, number one, to understand that agenda, and then it's almost like you have to actively train yourself to to find some to narrative to challenge that. You have to look around you, actually look at the examples that and think, well, actually, hold on, that's not my experience, and that's not what I want my experience to be. So you don't embrace that. You don't, you know what I mean? You kind of have to reject those stereotypes.
It's so true, because I'm from like a male-heavy family, and I have nothing but great, amazing black men around me.
Exactly.
But somehow I've tuned into.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like somehow I've tuned into this conversation that's happening online, like, and taking that on, and then wear it, and then like
make this your go-to framework. Then make this conversation your reference point. Then forget what you heard, like to say, what I'm saying, and remember what you heard here, and use that as your reference point, and look at your uncles and your brothers and those men around you that you made reference to, and let that be your point of reference.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, because you have that point of reference, when you watch the foolishness out there that's not, in line with the truth of your reality, it should, in terms of how cognitive dissonance works, cause you some discomfort to even watch it and make you think, what kind of nonsense is this? And, continue to just embrace the positive images that you do have, knowing that is your truth and not what you see on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is in relation to what you said, Sis. Yeah. I remember having a conversation with my cousin some years ago. And he was saying to me, all these girls are the same, man. You know what I'm saying? They're only good for one thing, yeah. And we know what that one thing is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was exploring that with him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, listen, the one thing good, yeah, Lord know it good, but that's not what they're good for. You know what I'm saying? So we were going through the why he was saying that, and I said, so where are you meeting these women? Yeah. And he was describing me where he was meeting the women, and you know what I'm saying? And so I said, okay, where else? You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I mean? And so basically, he's in places where particular types of women congregate, and not only particular types of women, but there's a particular type of energy in that place that is towards a particular type of outcome. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically if you wanna walk, yeah, you're gonna go to a rave certain time and check the women in that environment, get a wine, and that will hopefully lead to a walk. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality. Yeah. So I'm saying, but if you're meeting women in different environments, you're gonna get different outcomes. So even the same woman that you're whining in the club, if you meet her somewhere else, it might be a different outcome. You know what I'm saying? In that environment. Yeah. And so what it was though, because it was like, I think a lot of the times, yeah, we surround ourselves with the images, or the images that reinforce our already held perceptions, so that we can hold on to them, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's like man was in a place where man wanted to walk in it, so he surrounded himself with women that would meet that need, and then decided that all the women
then had buyer's remorse and decided to disassociate.
That's what's going on, and I feel like this is something that takes place on both sides of the spectrum.
I do agree with that as well.
I feel like women do that a lot, you know what I'm saying, in a sense of, all the man them stay like this, and so we consistently flood social media with images and depictions of men reinforcing that behavior type rather than men that go against it.
And that's how you get that single story syndrome. And the thing is, why is it that those stories are so dominant over stories like, the Cosbys?
Yeah, for the same reason why we titled the show the way we did. You know what I mean? Because we're drawn to a particular narrative. You know what I mean? Like, would there be so much people involved now if it didn't present like the show was gonna have a particular narrative? You know what I mean? So it goes back to where we are as a people, what we're interested in, language, all those kind of things. It all kind of drawn back to that at the end of the day.
Can I just make one final point, but it's to underline something that's already been raised, and that is the idea of friendship. I feel like it goes with what we're talking about right now, and how many friends have you got of the opposite sex but of the same race? And I feel like that's really important as well, to have friends that way. This kind of objectification is diminished a little bit, because you have friendships, and it's so underplayed, but it's the core. If you have if you have a circle of friends that are guys that you hang out with, I think that your idea of what you want from an intimate partner goes up frequencies, rather than just kind of sexual energy alone. You know what I mean?
100%. Yes, I totally agree with you.
If for yourself, if you have sisterins, or you have women in your family that are in good relationships as well, then that these things do exist. You know what I mean? If you meet other women, or if you're surrounded by women that seem to be in destructive relationships a lot. You know, the moment you find yourself in a situation with a brother, you're already expecting a particular type of behavior because that's what you're used to hearing about. You know what I mean? You already got your defenses up. You're already looking for certain things to go wrong because that's the narrative that you're used to hearing. And one thing I do say as well, like even growing up as a woman and seeing the way my parents used to interact and families around me, you know, one thing women are good at is like leaving relationships. We know how to leave relationships. One thing that I don't think we've been privileged to is seeing how people resolve stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always say that, like, a lot of parents may argue in front of children, and they may make up in the bedroom secretly, but the children are never a party to that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we never learn how to, we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to be in that uncomfortable environment for a moment where things are still tense. We're not used to being in those environments and seeing that makeup. You know what I mean? So we run from that because we don't know what it feels like to put our pride aside for a day and have to humble. We've never seen our dads do that. We've never seen our moms have to say, you know what, I'm sorry. And you know what I mean? So we don't, we don't see that a lot. We see the pack up clothes and pack up suitcase and black bag. That we've seen all that. We know how to do that. Excellent. But we don't see the resolution. We don't see how we resolve issues. And I think
when there is resolution, you don't, you know, you what it shows the kids is the resolution happens behind closed doors if it does happen.
Exactly.
So, you know, the next thing you go on like nothing happened, then you get a generation of people who resolve their problems by doing something where they should be held accountable for, and thinking, well, if I let time pass and then tomorrow I'll just act like it never happened, and then everyone will just continue, and then it just ends up festering and escalating into something even bigger at the end. And that's what I see a lot of as well.
Definitely.
Do you know what?
We need all the parents listening, you know what I mean? Make sure you make up in front of your children as well. Don't just argue in front of them, resolve your issues in front of them as well. You know what I mean? It's very important that we see those things. Cause I never saw that. And I'm quick to don't chat to me again, cut you off. Yeah, that's my go-to. It used to be my go-to. You know what I mean? Because that's the easiest thing. That's what I know. That's what I knew, rather. You know?
All the parents, you know what I'm saying? You know, all the man them, the fathers them, kiss up your woman in front of the picture.
Yeah.
So important.
All right. You know what? Sisters, as much as I love you all, as much as I love you all, you know what I'm saying? As much as I love my sisters them, it's a beautiful blessing to have some man energy, to join man,
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's a beautiful blessing, you know what I mean? So I'm running fat and reds. Taha, come listen.
Yo, man, sorry. Couldn't find that mute button. Greetings.
You can hear the smile on Shakarat's face, you know. You can hear the cheeks.
Like I was a little bit busy. I was thinking, I can't make it today, but I saw stuff going on. I thought, let me give it a try. Let me jump in quick, guys.
Yeah, I saw your message in the comments ages ago that he's gonna come and it's like,
yeah, I took a minute. How's everyone doing? How's it going, man?
Oh, we're blessed, man. I'm good.
Man. I'm loving this.
Yeah, go ahead, Taha. What's your contribution?
My contribution. All right, cool. So, you guys are just talking about something. How's everyone doing? How's it going, man?
A lot of feedback.
All right, cool. That's calm now. Fix. All right, cool. So yeah, my contribution was, so basically I heard you guys just a little while ago talking a bit about I can't remember exactly what it was, but it reminded me, and you know, my inner geek came out. It reminded me of a quote that I read in a book back in the day. A Game of Thrones book, by the way, and they're talking about the character Daenerys and a possible marriage partner for her. And the quote was this: "She wants fire, and Dawn sent her mud. You could make a poultice out of mud to cool a fever. You could plant seeds in mud and grow crops to feed your children. Mud would nourish you, where fire would only consume you. But fools and children and young girls would choose fire every time." And now, obviously, that was written about in Game of Thrones, and it applies in that situation. But I think within the Black community, the Black men and Black women, we seem to choose fire. Fire seems to be our go-to, or what we desire quite often. And I wonder if any of you guys feel the same way, or if I just maybe I think that could be or we desire fire, and so people actually, a lot of young men are encouraged to be more fiery. Young women are encouraged to be fiery, and so rather than being mud and looking for a partner who's going to be nourishing and raised, sometimes we look for fire as like, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe as teenagers, when you don't have any, like, you're not really thinking about your future and your life, and you're just following your hormones. But as a big woman who has plans for the future and who wants to build with somebody, who complements you, you're looking for mud. And, when you get to maturity.
I don't know.
You think we I don't know. You know what? There's some big woman out there that's still looking for fire, and the life is fire too.
But you made it specific to women. I think Tahaka made it specific.
Yeah,
to
women are men. I was speaking as a woman for my.
Yeah, naturally.
Because fire is not just fire is. I wouldn't say fire is just dysfunctional behavior or bad girl. Like fire. What I hear in fire is romance, butterflies in stomach.
I was gonna ask you to describe the fire. Is that excitement? Is it what is the fire like?
Okay. Yeah. I get that.
Cool. We are all choosing fire. Yeah. So I just reading the comment. Yeah, I mean the fire. I said, I suppose it's the spark, it's the excitement, it's the fun. It's
right. Okay.
At the same time,
isn't that what initially draws you to somebody though? Like if there's no spark, then how we even like exchanging, you know what I mean?
What I'm saying is, you got the brother who's, not necessarily good looking or exciting, or he gives you the butterflies or turns you on. But he's, he has good intentions, he's stable, he's gonna give you everything you need, he's gonna provide for you, he's gonna love you unconditionally. And you got the brother who, makes you weak at the knees, or the sister that makes you weak at the knees, and exciting, and spend money, but isn't emotionally available, can't commit, probably a cheat. And those are the guys, or those are the girls that you normally get person's interest. Is that what you're saying, brother?
Yeah, 100. So basically, it's a very like.
But I think the things that I think as all being individuals.
Hold on, Kush. Let Taka finish. Sorry.
I can't hear you now. Okay.
Oh, sorry, my mic's bad. I need to plug my other mic in. And anyway, let me go. So yeah, it's the fire in terms of not just the spark, in terms of the attitude that we all know, in terms of it's a fun person to be around there. They live for today. They're not necessarily planning for the future or the next 10 years. But today, tomorrow, if they say let's go out, it's going to be a good time. They're going to have fun. They always know how to be entertaining. It's not like and they're decisive. They make decisions. It's not like someone who's going to be like, oh well, I could take you here or in the state. It's like someone who knows they're going to we're going here. We're going to do this. I mean, a lot of women like that sort of confidence as well, isn't it?
That's true.
But quite often that sort of stuff doesn't necessarily come with long-term planning. Not all the time. You can have fire and still be mud. And also fire.
I was gonna say, so can't mud people be fire too? Like, is it only one or the other?
It's not either or. It's not either or, but there are some people who are just one and just the other. And I think if you're just fire, you have more of a chance than being just mud. I think I do want to point out that fire does have positivities, like warmth. That's the reason why people warm to them so quickly and come to them. So there's a lot of positive things to the metaphor of fire, as well as there is the metaphor of mud. It's not just like it's negative, but it's like as a whole, if all you're getting is fire, that can be is that the best long-term choice?
The best long-term choice ideally is the balance in between, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you want to be in a marriage where you still love and still are interested in your partner, and you can spend that person have a long-lasting marriage. You need to be able to be friends with that person and enjoy that person's company. Them being stable and provide is one thing, but being able to stay in a loving marriage and happy marriage, we need a bit of fire too. So
yeah, you want someone with
a balance is ideal, but I would say
the woman said they want them fire. You know what I mean? All right, everybody stay on the line here. Everybody stay on the line, but mute your mics here, because our brother Leon Marshall has joined us. Let me just make sure that the brother is with us. 1 second. Right, hold on. Right, brother Leon, unmute your mic, please, bro, because I can't seem to be able to unmute you. So.
Hello?
Yes, brother.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Also,
Mute the what?
I'm getting it from your thing. Your YouTube.
Mute the YouTube.
Yes,
Is that better?
Much better.
Yeah, all right.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
100%.
perfect. All right, kings and queens, for those who may not be aware, this is the scientist, Brother Leon Marshall of the Hidden Science Academy. And as I announced earlier, and the link is in the chat, I'm going to repost the link in the chat in a second as well. He is hosting an event called the Hidden Science of Black Love on the 23rd of February, kings and queens. And I tell you what, you need to be there. Brother Leon, let the people them know about the Hidden Science Academy and what the Hidden Science of Black Love is about.
Well, we put on events with regards to just science in general, but science that is, for whatever reason, hidden. And a lot of the hidden science tends to be about us for whatever reason. So we put on events with regards to the hidden science of Kemet, ancient Kemet, the hidden science of Black Panther. A couple months ago, we done the hidden science of black hair, and now we're going to do the hidden science of black love. Now, the hidden science of black love it's getting a lot of people talking, which is good. Like, I'm loving the discussion this evening. I'm seeing the comments in the comment section. Like, this seems to be a topic that a lot of people want to discuss. And even when I'm giving out the flyers and I'm showing it to people, a lot of people are like, "Raw, you're going to actually discuss this?" And I'm like, yeah, it's a big topic. Some people, though, and these are black people as well, some people will say things like, why does it say the hidden science of black love? Why not just love?
Love.
Yeah. And I always say, yeah, no, that's a good question, but I don't tend to answer it because the way they say it sometimes is like in a antagonistic type of way. Do you get what I mean? Like a lot of people, when they see that word, for whatever reason, it's negative to them. And that's something we're going to discuss on the day as well. Why does the word black have so many negative connotations? You put black in front of things and then all of a sudden there's a problem.
Political.
You know what I'm saying? So with us and with everyone, it seems like society's pushing out there that black is negative. And even when you look in the dictionary, black is associated with death and black is associated with badness and all this sort of stuff. So when I do events and I put black in front of something, black people will turn around to me and say, why does it say black? Why can't it just say love? I'm like, yeah, interesting. But these are all the things that we're going to be talking about on the day. So on the day, topics that will be discussed will be black dating and relationships, how black love is portrayed in the media, the importance of self-love, the importance of group economics, the love frequency in music, negative effects of social media, and how self-hate is taught to children.
Okay. All right. Powerful. You know what I'm saying? Brother Leon, are you fire or mud, bro?
I reckon people would say I'm fire, you know.
Yes, if you want the fire, you know.
That's some people, but I like the convo. I like the convo earlier when they were talking about there has to be a spark and all them thing there. I think that's interesting because a lot of black women who say they want, you know, a certain type of guy, that's not the guy that they end up falling for. So that's interesting. That's something we're definitely going to discuss on the day as well.
We're in that. All right. Cool. So who've you got on the bill, bro?
So we've got Nat Nye and Stella B. They're going to be hosting it. We got Leah and Jeremy Salmon. They're going to be talking about how to make a marriage work.
I love them.
Yeah, they're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Big up Leah, big up Jeremy.
I want to be there when I grow up, you know what I mean?
Trust me, they're a beautiful family.
Their relationship goes.
Yeah.
Relationship goes. Yeah.
The two of them and the 10 million pitney.
And she still looks 25, you know what I mean?
Enough love. Yeah. We got Davis J. Williams from Manhood Academy and The Naked Truth. And we got Andrew Mohammed, the investigator. You know, if anyone's seen Andrew Mohammed, he's like, in my opinion, one of the best like presenters we've got in the UK with regards to what he teaches. Do you get what I'm saying? Breaking down our science, breaking down the hidden truths in movies and all them sort of thing there. So Andrew Mohammed and then myself as well. So it's going to be a jam-packed day. There's going to be an African market as well. So we're going to be promoting group economics. It's going to be at Lewisham Village. For those of you who've gone there before, it's quite a big venue. So there's going to be quite a few stalls and that sort of stuff. And obviously Gotkush TV are going to be covering the whole event. So you know it's going to be big things. So.
All right. It's major stuff, kings and queens. So you heard it here first. It's the hidden sides of Black love featuring brother Leon Marshall and many other kings and queens. Yeah, and I'm gonna put this out there. The brother is doing some fantastic work with the events that he's putting on. He's able to put together some very unique events, you know, and you're gonna be seeing more of it through Gotkush TV. We've just posted, some footage of the hidden science of Black here that took place last month, kings and queens. You know what I'm saying? So do check that out, yeah, in the uploaded video section of the channel. You know what I'm saying? Just check it out. You get a nice little flavor of the kind of events that brother Leon is putting on. Brother Leon, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. If you just wanted to say anything about anything that you've heard in the conversation today, this evening, you know what I'm saying? Just feel free to drop it right about that.
Yeah, I just want to say big up for the love and that sort of thing. I just want to say though, when it comes to my events and that, it's not me per se. Do you get what I'm saying? People are saying, yeah, big up what you're doing and all them thing there. But I say, like, I run a Black holistic health course as well. And I say to the people on the course, this is not my information. This is not coming from me. It's just coming through me. Do you get what I'm saying? So all of these events that I'm doing, I'm finding out things about our history. I'm finding out things about our science and Black chemistry and biology and all these things that I don't hear anyone else talking about. So this information is not my information. It's just coming through me. For whatever reason, I'm able to gather this information and put it in a constructive manner to the point where people are digesting it and assimilating it and thinking, yeah, no, this science is doing us good. Like when I'm teaching science, I'm not teaching it in a way where how they teach it in school. Like this is biology over here. This is chemistry over here. Then them two things, they are different. This is physics over here. I don't teach science like that. I teach science like this is biology. This is you. This is chemistry. This is you. This, like, I'm literally talking about you every time I talk about science. That's why I feel like people are gravitating to these events, because when they come to these events, it's like they're learning about themselves. Whatever topic we're talking about, it's like they're learning about themselves. And I think when it comes to Black love, like when people ask me, what do you think Black love is? To me, the most important thing is self-love first. Like I ask people, what do you think Black love is? And then they start talking about relationships and the difference between Black men and Black women and how Black men don't appreciate. And they go into all of that, which is important. But I'm like, what about that person in the mirror? Why are we not talking about that as Black love? Do you get what I'm saying? Before anything else, self-love. And because of this environment that we're living in, it's like we're being taught to hate ourselves. Do you get what I'm saying? Social media, or everything that you see, even now with like knife crime and all them thing there, we're being taught to hate our own children. I hear grown folks walking around saying, nah, man, if I see a group of Black children, Black youths with hoodies on one side, I'm going to cross over. And do you get what I'm saying? This is stuff that we're being taught. We're being taught to hate ourselves, to look at someone who looks like us and not like that person. So for me, when it comes to that, the Black love, I feel like first we need to talk about self-love. And then from there, everything else will just fall into place. So that's my...
All right, brother Leon, you know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, job done, you know, bro. So you can feel free to stay around or depart as you wish, you know what I'm saying? But once again, I'm going to share the link here for the hidden science of Black Love taking place the 23rd of February at the Lewisham Village, Kings and Queens. You know what I mean? And yeah, you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. You know what I'm saying? And once you're there, do check out the website for the hidden sides of Black love, because you and sign up to the mailing list, because you will get information about the course, yeah, on health and well-being. You know what I mean? And you know, I've spoken to brothers and sisters who have taken the course. I have not heard a bad report yet. No negative reports, Kings and Queens. So
I just want to say, just to emphasize, that if you want to jump on our mailing list, go to the hiddenscienceacademy.com, fill out the online form, and then you'll be added to the main list. You'll know when we're doing events and when we're running courses, etc., etc. So the hiddenscienceacademy.com if you want to jump onto the mailing list.
And coming back to what I was saying earlier, there's going to be plenty of fire and plenty of mud in the building. Yeah,
is it?
What about mud and fire?
Yeah, we will be there in
on that motorway then.
Trust me. Yeah, and if you ain't got no petrol money or no train fare, get to walking right now. If you're
Listen, man, I ain't even gonna lie. It's gonna be fire. I'm gonna be breaking down the word black. I'm gonna be taking it all the way back to Kemet. Do you get what I'm saying?
All right.
Even breaking down chemistry. Chem comes from Kemet.
The chemistry.
You know what I mean? So if we're talking about chemistry, mystery means magic. So chemistry, we're talking about black magic here. You see what I'm saying?
Word science right there.
Word science. You see what I'm saying? Like breaking down the word, bringing black all the way back to Kemet, bringing black all the way back to the pyramids. The pyramids used to be called Moors. Then we used to be called Moors. Then all of a sudden, Moor was associated with death. I'm bringing it all the way back, mate.
All the way back. You know what, family? I don't even know what greater advert we need. You know what I'm saying? You wanna experience some chemistry. You know what I'm saying? That might evolve into some biology. You know what I'm saying? And these things. Then you have to just come down. You know what I'm saying, to the thing and see where the spirit takes you, Kings and Queens. Give thanks for your presence, brother Leon, and for the work that you're. You get me? And we're going to see you there on the 23rd.
Enough love to the panel. Enough love to the people in the comment section. Big up. Enough respect.
Give
All right.
Let's up. All right. Let's up. All right. So yeah, it's 10 p.m. You know, I'm thinking to give it 15 minutes more before we wrap up the show, just to to see everybody want to get. Oh my days, brother M.A. Brown. You know. Just reach in the comment section. Yeah, we're gonna go for another 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying, and then see how people wanna if what people wanna say. Yeah, so if you wanna, this is your last chance. Yeah, to get in on the conversation. If you would like to get in on the conversation, I'm gonna post the live link one more time. Yeah, I'm gonna post the live link one more time for anybody who wants to join the conversation. And yeah, it was blessed. You know what it is. I'm a man, yeah, because what I think was it the sister's name is Charlotte. She was talking earlier about friends, yeah, and the importance of having female friends and them kind of things there. And I'm gonna say that I think I've benefited, yeah, from having female friends. I had a father who used to say to us when we were children, "You must make friends with the girls." You know what I'm saying? Friends, you know what I mean? And I really took that to heart. Like I'd be at one rare. Like among 10 different girls, and all of them were friends. Yeah, like, when I say that, I mean like there's nothing else going on but friendship. Yeah, what's it called? As a child. And I feel like I benefited a lot from that. Yeah? I feel like I benefited a lot from that. Having said that, though, as I've gotten older, I've learned more the value of having male friends. You know what I'm saying? As a man, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Men to kind of bounce off.
Can you elaborate on that?
Can I elaborate?
Feet that you have had.
What to ask, Yemiya? What's the question?
You said that you've learned a lot more from having male friends as a man. I was asking if you could elaborate on, that revelation that you've had as opposed to, what is the value you've had from having your male friendships now as a man compared to having female friendships, which you've explained you've seen the value in.
I think. And it's not that I've seen the value in male friends more than women friends, but I feel like maybe as a younger man, I didn't put enough value on having male companionship and men to bounce ideas off, to grow with, you know what I'm saying, to be able, you know what I'm saying, them kind of things there. I probably didn't put enough value on that, and I think that was partly because the depiction of what manhood was is something that I was not trying to become.
Right.
And so I did, and I was so whereas I always appreciated men around me that weren't representing that. So when I came on the spoken word scene, for example, there were a lot of men that were just running through their audience, just sleeping with the whole entire audience, yeah, no, seriously, I just never wanted to be that kind of man, that kind of poet. That was not my intention, and so the brothers that I gravitated towards were brothers that did not represent that. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean? You know, like, so me being in a spoken word collective called Best Kept Secret, for example, with two brothers named Amenwar and Tugstar, is no accident. You know what I'm saying? Because these are older brothers that I felt were representing values that I felt like I wanted to emulate as a younger brother. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we've all made our mistakes. Those brothers have made their mistakes in life in relation to women. I've made my own. But again, you know what I'm saying? It's not just about whether you make the mistake. It's about how you deal with that and what your intentions are in the first place anyway. And these kind of, so yeah, I feel like, but I feel like growing older, there are certain things that you need another brother to understand on a man level. You know what I'm saying? Just like there are certain things that women are going to answer between themselves. There are certain things that they're going to answer between themselves, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? And having said that, let me bring in another good brother.
Look at them all coming to your rescue.
Saving face me. That can't even save it around here. But anyway,
you're just happy though, isn't it? You're all packed up towards the end though.
Before I bring you in, brother MA, let me just read this comment from Sister Nams. I recommend some books for men only, for women only. Audio book on YouTube called The Way of the Superior Man. I am in. And a book called How to Love a Black Man and How to Love a Black Woman. Thank you for those recommendations there. And we might think it's silly to be reading books, about how to love each other. But the fact is, we've been kind of reading books named Disney and Hollywood for a number of for our entire lives, and they've kind of shaped how we view these subjects, and they haven't served us very well. So maybe we need some some realignment, some unlearning and some relearning. And with that, I'm gonna bring in brother MA.
Greetings, everybody.
Greetings.
How's everyone doing?
Brother MA, are you fire or are you mud?
Mud on fire.
Am I fire or am I mud? What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm playing with you. I know you missed the conversation. So
yeah.
Can be mud on fire.
I've been taking notes, I've been taking notes. Oh, okay, let me put my paper down.
Wow. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, you're gonna have to play it. You're gonna have to play it back later, really.
Okay.
What's the contribution, bro? What's the contribution?
Say again? My contribution. Yeah, no, I haven't. I've obviously just turned up in it. But I can relate to what you were saying about your younger years. I used to champion the fact that I had loads of female friends, innit?
Yes, bro.
That was like I've got 6 sisters, so I've always been around women. Yeah. I've seen them at their worst and at their best, and it's helped inform my current relationship. No end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I can also relate to it's interesting hearing you say that, because I used to go to some spoken word events back in the day. I'm not an artist myself, but I used to know quite a few people on the scene in certain parts of London and that. And I was always put off. I'm very easily put off by male figures, innit? Like, I'm highly critical of my own father, of males in my own family, I know. And of myself as well. Like you, I've made my own mistakes as well. But what can I call it? Popular circles that contain a lot of popular figures from being at primary school and secondary school into college and then into kind of the wider world, like the artist communities and all these kind of things. Like I was always easily put off by behaviors that I really couldn't agree with from males in particular. I think I have a bit of a higher tolerance for the behavior of females simply because of my upbringing. But I also think maybe in the last 10 years, maybe a little bit longer than that actually, began to really, really value the bond that I have with males as well. And I just think it's important to have both, because we're in England, innit? And so we're surrounded by whiteness more time wherever we go.
Yeah.
So I think at some point that was always bound to happen. And fortunately, I have male cousins and that in my family. So to an extent, for a long time, that was enough for me. Actually, you know what I mean? I didn't really need to go and buddy up.
Bro. Same. See, this is why we need male companionship, because everything that man is saying, man gets you on a different level. Like, yeah, it's deep. Let me ask you though, MA, yeah? You know what I'm saying? Because you're saying what you're saying, yeah. And you know the question's going out of my head? It just totally got out of my head, just now. It was right there, just got out of my head. But continue, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to the question.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely important. What was it like? What were the areas of conflict that you guys had today in this discussion?
Not too many, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? We started off by putting the question into context, because we were saying that maybe if the question was more positively affirming, less people would have responded to it. And so it's kind of unfortunate that in a sense, in order to have a conversation that in general around our relationships as black men and women, we're more inspired or more responsive to negative reinforcement than positive reinforcement. And what does that mean? Is it true that men don't believe black women? And both the sisters, all the sisters that have come on have actually said, no, as a blanket statement, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? There are areas that need work, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But we keep black men. Yeah? Come back to me. One of the reasons why I began to value male companionship more is because I understood that I couldn't, like, it was this idea of being a good man. Yeah, like it's like there were men and then there were good men. Yeah, and I began to question this good man thing and understand that, like, there's no good man in and of himself, innit? Like, if he's not part of a group of men that are trying to live up to the same standards. I feel like I feel like one of the issues that we have as brothers is that we some in our social circles sometimes or oftentimes we reinforce negative behavior towards women. Yeah. Or we don't challenge it enough. We're not.
Yeah. That was something I was going to ask earlier on. If you correct each other the way we do as women,
and I say personally, not enough. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there were times when if I needed correcting, I needed to speak to a brother about that. Just what I'm saying, because maybe he's gonna understand something about the situation that talking to him might be able to understand it, if that makes sense. But also, it's a positive reinforcement among our relationships as men. Yeah. So we're trying to become better men collectively. And sometimes, to be quite honest with you, sometimes when you're dealing with women in these situations, sometimes you're taking on. It's not always. It can get to a point where it's not productive because you're dealing with the woman and you're dealing with whatever, extra stuff she's bringing to the situation. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I mean? So we have to deal with that as well. You know what I'm saying? And that can happen on the other side. I'm just saying that as a man, speaking as a man. So yeah, but I wanted to know if you relate to that as well, just in terms of having brothers to kind of, reflect yourself in bounce off and be able to correct your own behaviors and have a system of accountability among men.
Yeah, definitely. I think first and foremost, like I said before, I'm blessed to have cousins, one particular cousin that we can bounce off all the time. You know, I mean, we were meant to go to the gym tonight, but it didn't happen. But he even more so than my father. We can be honest with each other, and that was valuable. And actually, to be honest, I had male friends growing up as well, who I think I'm a person. I can attract leeches and I can attract angels, innit?
I am it.
And I'm fortunate enough, like, I can't tolerate too much nonsense for too long. Right, and in fact, I've cut off, like, I'm ruthless, innit? I've been ruthless in my life. I've cut off people I've known for all 13, 14 years. And when enough is enough, you're gone, innit? And I think because of that, I've built a part of my character. I've built an asset to my character that now automatically will repel the wrong people. Do you know what I mean? Without me even trying. And I'm very happy for that. It saves me a lot of trouble as well. But yeah, certainly, I think in terms of growth and trying to not live in an echo chamber, you know, which is something that we all kind of must struggle with at times. You know, we all like positive reinforcement, but we should be after the challenge as well. I think it's important to for a man to have particular types of men around him.
Yeah.
Types of men who are willing to say, bruv, what are you dealing with? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But so there's only a handful of them. I'll be honest with you. There's only a handful of them, but people are obviously, you know, I'm like 36 years old in a couple of weeks. So I think reaching these ages, you will find more of our peers who have grown, who have had enough time to grow, and so maybe we have a wider selection of men we can actually par with now. You know, I just met you, for example, brother Shakara. So
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Sir, you know what I mean? No, I love that. I'm gonna Tahak, are you there? Just shoot. We're getting announced.
I'm here. You know, it takes a little while for me to reach.
I just wanna, you know what I mean? Let the male energy just kind of spread throughout the atmosphere in a second.
You know, that.
You're right over there, sis.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, on the topic that you guys were saying, discussing, it's quite interesting because I think for me it was quite different. Like, so growing up, I definitely looked up to all my older brothers and looked up to all the guys, and I definitely wanted to be one of the man them, innit? And so I definitely grew up, started behaving and acting in some of the stereotypical males I didn't believe back then. Friend, and you like her, then there's only one thing for it, and if she you know, if it doesn't work out, then really what's the point of continuing on a friendship? That was my mentality back then. It took me, like, I remember when I was like 17, 18, I came out of that, and like I had one friend, my best friend at the time, female, and started chilling with my sisters more and things like that. And I started looking at seeing things from a different point of view, I suppose. One relationship I was in, long-term relationship, made me like just cool off like chilling with the mandem so much, because obviously that was around the age where we're just about to start going clubbing and thing, and I'm like, I'm a chill, innit? So all the mandem are out every week and I'm chilling. So I got to see a different thing, and that's why I started chilling with girls more. And now these days, the ways you guys have grown into sort of valuing, I don't know, male friendship, I don't know, man. Like I got like all the mandem that I grew up with, they're still the mandem, they're still my brothers, they're still my brothers. But like enough times they call me and I know they're just calling because they want to chill. Like I would definitely air the call, like no disrespect, but like it depends. If I have to be in the mood, like I don't just want to chill with the mandem and just hear the talk that the mandem come out with and some of the conversations that we have. And even like, I mean, like no we're all in group chats on WhatsApp, and then there's a one particular group chat in the WhatsApp, the mandem group chat, and it's just like rare, like mandem, you're 28, but you're still 18. Do you know what I mean? Like so
man, hear that. Still, I get completely what you're saying. I think that's probably why man value girls company when I was younger more. I felt like the conversations were more varied. You know what I'm saying? I could engage in different kinds of things. All right, do you know what? We're gonna wrap up here. I want to do something here, sisters. Don't worry. We're gonna wrap up with the sisters then. So don't worry. We're gonna get you back in there. But I do want to, because we're talking about this correction thing, yeah. And brothers, I mean, like Tahak, say for yourself, innit? Like, obviously, me and Emma have put our cards on the table. We've messed up certain ways in relationships and that. You want to put your cards on the table, bro? Yeah. I'll say that. But yeah, come again?
No.
Yeah, love it, bro. Love it. Yeah, so basically, yeah. But I do want to say, for any of the brothers that want to answer the question, because I kind of touched on this earlier myself, but in terms of humbling yourself, yeah, to a woman, in terms of like, you know, you've messed up, you've done wrong, yeah, and being able to acknowledge that, and humble yourself. And I'm going to use the word submit. Yeah. How difficult is it to do that as a man?
How difficult?
Yeah.
As a man, that's a really loaded question, man. how difficult is it to do that as a man?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the what is it? What do you stand to lose by being wrong as a man, and what do you stand to gain from engaging in that miscalculation, should we call it? I don't know, man. It depends on the person. It depends what kind of man you are. I mean, yeah, I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't know if I can answer that. For me personally,
yeah.
Being wrong, being wrong in a controlled environment is a lot easier than being wrong in the heat of some kind of situation, whether it be public, whether it be around friends or family or whatever. So like in the house, in the home, you know, me and my fiance, we argue in it, and you know, I think having that extra sounding board, be it a family member or whoever it may be, whether it's male or female, is always welcome. You know, at my age now, it's always welcome. And I think I'm a kind of person who wants to be right, in terms of, I don't always want to be right. I just want to be right when I'm wrong. So if I'm wrong, I want to be righted. You know what I mean? That's my manifesto. So being wrong is not necessarily a bad thing at all. And it's never really been a bad thing. It can only be a good thing. But a different type of man might say different.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Love that. All right. You get me? I'm hoping, you know what I'm saying, them are appreciating the levels of vulnerability.
Definitely. I mean, I was just gonna say that, like, I really feel valued as a Black woman when I hear my brothers, with these kind of mindsets and this level of insight and this level of growth, in the ability to acknowledge, where they were flawed and where they've done wrong and how they have grown, and their ability to acknowledge that is really, I think it's really inspiring. So, and as a Black woman, that makes me feel valued, knowing that my Black men are able to do that. Just like, someone be able to tell you sorry when they're in the wrong, or want to be right when they are wrong. That is also very important, and I find value in that. And I feel like a lot of relationships, whether it be intimate or platonic or friendships or family members, can be saved or salvaged when you have kind of harnessed the ability to do that.
All right, beautiful. All right, Taka, did you want to add anything to that or not?
Yeah, I kind of missed the full question, so I'm not gonna make you repeat it now.
Taka dodging the thing where
I missed the full thing.
I'm joking. All right, I'm gonna be at some of these comments, and then we're gonna wrap up with Sister Kush and Sister Yemaya.
Okay.
Right, Terry, big up Terry. Terry Riggs is in it saying, it is said that there must be a balance in these two forces. Without the feminine, the masculine is apt to act without restraint in order to reason, in order or reason resulting in chaos. He also says the feminine alone, on the other hand, is apt to constantly reflect and fail to actually do anything, resulting in stagnation. With both masculine and feminine working in conjunction, there is thoughtful action that breeds success, which points out that both the feminine and the masculine fulfill each other. Sister Buki says, trust me, you can't police what you attract. We must be in tune with self when it comes to what we entertain. Okay. Sister Nam says, I think another topic is self-love versus selfishness. Okay, I like that. Where's the line? I don't think you mean the lively, but it's in the chat, sis. You've got a couple minutes if you want to come in. There's a couple minutes. Because sometimes we're quick to cut off people, but is that always the right thing to do? Again, a lot of us drawn to fire. Yeah. Charmaine Blackwood says accountability for one's actions is vital. Buki says, interesting, Nams, it's a unique line for each individual. Again, one needs to be connected. Oh, where's the line? Is in the cutoff line. Yeah, okay, I get it. Connected to the source and intimate with one's own truth. Real self-love can appear selfish to those who don't. Overs. Okay. And yeah, the conversation continues. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You can see it in the chat. So yeah, one thing though that I feel like we didn't address today, which we're probably not going to have time to, but it's probably another subject for another time, is the extent to which women are kind of we're taught that women are kind of more naturally disposed towards relationships, and men kind of have to be cajoled, coerced, coaxed into it, and therefore learn on the job. You know what I'm saying? But there's a natural disposition that, you know what I'm saying, women are said to have towards relationships, which generally speaking means that when things go wrong, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be the man's fault. Yeah. And whereas I'm not even like, oftentimes I think it is the man's fault when things go wrong. I don't know if it's the case that women are any more predisposed towards being in relationships. And I mean, not the desire now to have a relationship, but the skill set to be in one, to sustain one, and to maintain one than we as men are. And I think that imbalance of perception may also be harming our relationships. You know what I'm saying? With that said, I'm gonna hand over to the sisters them to close out the show with any closing thoughts. First of all, let me get our guest on first to just check if Sister Melanated has anything to say before we ask everyone to lock off their to hang up.
Oh man, y'all had some good conversation. I mean, seriously, I agree with the sister. It is very refreshing to hear, you know, Black men who obviously love Black women, right? And they obviously have done a good deal of self-reflecting and processing some of their deficits and working on improving those things, and are just in a good place to love on a Black woman. So I'm just like, we need more of this. You know what I'm saying? That's where I am. I'm like, yeah, we need more of this. I did want to make a comment.
You got me to London, sis. Come to London.
Huh?
You got me to London.
I'm coming to London. all of the men are all ready to love on a Black woman. I'm getting me a plane ticket.
Hold on now. We got women here that need to sort some things out as well first.
Listen, hopefully it's enough for all of us. But I will say on the brotherhood tip, you know, I have experienced being with a Black man who I felt like he was like a loner type of guy, and I was like, I think you need some friends, you need some brothers. Like certain things that I would say to him, I felt should come from a man, and unfortunately, all men don't have these elders, these fathers, these uncles that are good. You know, he told me, you know, his father would take him to go to the side chick house. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how he grew up. You know, then when his father got married, his father didn't really deal with him that much. You know, the stepmother wasn't allowed to talk to him, and the father just gave him money, and he raised himself. So we really, you know, like I'm encouraging the brotherhood because it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Your woman shouldn't feel like, you know, that burden is on her now. Like she gotta raise her man. That's not she shouldn't be giving him brotherly advice. You know, they should be coming together, and they should be coming together and building together. But yeah, I really like the dialogue about how you said you got to a place where you saw value in that. And I guess as a woman, I just wanted to give the flip side of, for those men who don't have that, how their woman might be feeling, or how that could affect their relationship.
I hear that.
Because, you know, I have been on the other side of telling my girlfriends, like, girl, you crazy. You can't be telling your man that. You know, like women give their female friends that type of feedback.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier, definitely.
Yeah. You know, so if the man is getting the same thing, like, oh nah, bruh, you tripping. You need to go back and apologize, cause you know, you know, they need to hear that from someone who can see it their way.
Yes.
But
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
very, very good conversation. You know, I'm loving the balance, the masculine, the feminine energy. You know, big ups to everyone on the panel. You know,
Thank you, sis.
yes, my first time meeting Sister Kush. I love your energy.
Thank you.
Sister Yemaya, always a pleasure talking with you as well.
Yes, sis. Thanks for your contributions. They've been amazing.
Yeah, Brother Scattered and MA. And I even heard Baby Shakara in the background saying hi to Melanated.
It always is very shock around, man.
Yes.
A lot of stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, what's it called? I you know, on that note, we're having a naming ceremony soon, so I'm gonna do a whole video where I'm gonna announce his name properly, and these things and what his names mean and that. So stay tuned for that on Shakara Speaks. I'm gonna throw it now to Sister Kush to give a closing word on the conversation, closing thoughts.
Well, just like to reiterate from those that probably didn't hear from the beginning, like from the very beginning, you know, wanting to make sure that, you know, the title may have presented a particular way. You know what I mean? People might have saw the title of this and thought there's going to be a particular dialogue. And I hope you've been refreshed to see that that's not the case. For the brothers listening, you can see that, you know, if you haven't been introduced to, you know, balanced sisterhood and balanced, you know, women thoughts, then, you know, welcome. You know, this is what, you know, balanced womanhood looks like. This is what balanced thought sounds like as well. It's not about male bashing, you know what I mean? Nothing like that at all. I want to reiterate my one of my thoughts, what I said, like this idea about respect, and it's like I said, it's a spectrum, you know. And sisters, I think if we have a more unified, you know, like dialogue around the kind of things that we tolerate, the kind of things that we expect, the kind of things that, you know, is expected of us as well, because, you know, we can't just point the finger, we got to look at the thumb as well, as my grandma would say. So yeah. So yeah, so basically in that, I'm just saying it's all about balance, isn't it? It's all about balance. It's all about being willing to be vulnerable. You know, I always say, like, I have a radio show on a Monday, and I always encourage, like, my listeners as well, when dealing with partnerships, like, sometimes it's difficult to say things. Sometimes you have to close your eyes and say things. Sometimes you have to write things down. But definitely, like, don't let the fear of being vulnerable, of looking silly, of feeling stupid, don't let the fear of all those things, like, damage your relationship. You know, there's, like, you know, feelings are just for that moment. You feeling that embarrassment or that vulnerability is just for that moment. And once we can get over that, you know what I mean, greater things can happen. Another point I want to reiterate that I was talking about earlier, you know, we're very good at ending relationships. We're very good at being able to, like, embrace arguments and things like that. We're not very good at making up. We're not very good at conflict resolution, especially in front of our children. So I'm just encouraging any couples listening, any parents listening, you know, as much as you know, may argue in front of your children, don't just make up behind closed doors. You know, children need to see how to resolve conflict so that you become adults who know how to resolve conflict as well. And that's pretty much what I want to say.
Give thanks for that, Sister Kush. Give thanks for that. Get used to Kush Kings and Queens, and I'm saying Gotkush presenter on board the Gotkush TV team right about now. So get used to that voice right there. And you're going to see more of her on Gotkush TV in the coming months. Another woman you're going to see more of is Sister Yemaya. Sister Yemaya, I'm going to throw it to you now for some closing reflection.
Yeah, big up to Kush. I reiterate everything that she said very eloquently. And I would like to say that conversations like this and events like the Science of Black Love on Saturday, 23rd of February, shows that we do, in fact, value each other. You know, the energy that we're putting into forums such as this and events like the one that's on the 23rd of February is, you know, the example of us valuing each other and us uplifting each other and us wanting to continue that process. So I would just like to take away that I want everybody who's listening today, thank you for tuning in, take that away that there is value in us all and we all value each other. So thank you for tuning in.
All right, once again, get used to the voice, kings and queens. Our sister Gemma, you're going to be seeing and hearing a lot more of her on Gotkush TV. I want to close by saying that the hidden science of Black love is taking place on the 23rd of February, kings and queens. That's a Saturday, the 23rd of February. It starts at 12 p.m. and ends at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets by checking the link that has just been posted in the live chat. Please check it out, you know what I'm saying, and you get all information, tickets. There are stores and all kind of different things about Kings and Queens. So we look forward to seeing you down there. We want to encourage you, if you have not done so already, to subscribe to Gotkush TV. And just take a browse, take a browse through our videos, our content, you know what I'm saying? And there's more coming in the future, you know what I'm saying? There's more coming in the future. In particular, right about now, we have the InSight show, which is hosted by myself, you know what I'm saying? The last one was on the R. Kelly situation that has dominated many conversations over, you know, since 2019 began. So we did a reflection on that. We've got some good feedback from it as well. Give thanks to the people that have, you know, kind of taken the time to message and say, you know, this is the best one yet. I give thanks for that because that was a difficult one to deal with and address, you know what I'm saying? But also our next live is most likely going to come out of that particular subject. And we're going to be looking at how we actually address and solve the issue of abuse in our community. Hopefully we're going to do that. Yeah, so do stay tuned for our next live, whereby we'll be engaging in solution orientated conversation about how we address the issue of abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse in our community. Okay, so we're gonna stay tuned for more information on that. Once again, UK Fire 32, our platform, you know what I'm saying, dedicated to artists with a message in their bars, is coming to you in a couple months also, as well as the pilot for the Group Economics show. You know what I mean? So yeah, do check out the InSight. In the meantime, we're keeping the shit afloat with the InSight and covering events for the Hidden Science Academy. You know what I mean? So we want to, you know, make sure that we make this particular media platform, as we say, the #1 Black conscious media platform in the UK and eventually throughout the world, kings and queens. This is Gotkush TV. This is Gotkush TV. Like, comment, share this video, and also subscribe to the channel. And do remember, you ain't got nothing if you ain't got kush.